Welcome to a terrible football show.
Hey, we nailed it. We hit it pretty well. Good job, boys.
I know that fucking cue to the back of
Yeah,
my
there
hand
we
now.
go. Welcome into ATFS episode 50. Man, I can't believe this show made it 50 episodes. 50 episodes of this terrible ass show. This is an incredible milestone for podcasts. I actually shared a very unique thread just earlier from another podcaster about how most shows don't even make it past 10 episodes, let alone 50. And just to further give the dedication for SparkE3, we've got Gamesthetic about to hit 115, AniMan Plus is about to hit 100, and now ATFS has hit 50. If there's anything that you cannot knock when it comes to SparkE3, it's dedication to our craft and what we are doing. And to celebrate this wonderful episode, I got the boys in studio, all the boys that I can have in studio. Of course, Jacob is in Ohio, but one day he will be here. So let's go around the room. I'll start off with you, Ricky. Ricky, how you doing? How you feeling? First time in the studio for Ricky.
First time in the studio. Fuck fantasy football. So here's the thing, Jacob. So you and I can both share the same Dallas Cowboy pain that we've suffered over the years. And I don't think the one that really sticks in my mind is the 2007 season when we went 13-3 and we lost in the first, technically it was our first round. We got a bye because we had the number one seed. That's how it was with me, man. I went 12-3 in fantasy. I had 200 more total points than second place, and I lost in the first round to Alex.
Hey.
Yeah, so I literally
Wrong one.
hate fantasy football for right now, but I did have a lot of fun this year, though. It was a total great fun this year. But, I'm glad to be here in the studio, though. It is good to see Tyler here tonight. Tyler, speaking to the
That's
fucking
right.
microphone,
Tyler
man.
is in studio. The man who helped me start this show is here to celebrate episode 50. Tyler, how you feeling, man? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's only took about 7 months.
We figured it out, though.
so.
We figured it out. We've
Yeah.
had some bumps in the road to get you here.
That
Buddy.
GPS took me some other places, but it's all good.
Yeah, we figured it out, and that's the main thing. And then also my opponent in fantasy. We have Shane in studio.
Dun, dun,
Shane
dun, dun.
and I are in the championship for a terrible fantasy league. How you feeling?
Look, I will take pleasure in knowing that me and you both, as somewhat not Dallas Cowboy fans, knocking both Dallas Cowboy fans out of the championship game.
That's true. Brady and Ricky both, baby.
So I am happy about that. And they were both the higher seeds.
Yep.
They were both 1 and 2.
Yep.
We were 3 and 4. We took care of business, so I'm looking forward to it.
And then, of course, we cannot forget our ever so beautiful friend on Discord here. We have Jacob. Jacob, how you feeling, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. You know, Ricky, even though you didn't make it, Brady, even though you didn't make it, I am representing the Dallas Cowboys fans in
There you
here.
go.
Not in this
There you go.
league, not in your guys' league, but
Yeah.
in a different league.
There you go.
I
There you
am
go.
in my own championship.
Hey,
game.
I'm rooting for you, my friend. I am rooting for you.
Jacob, hopefully you can bring home a championship. At this point, I don't give a shit who wins between me and Shane. I got my money. That's all that matters. Me and Shane split the pool 50-50, so that way I can go ahead and send the money to us. At this point, all we're battling for is a trophy, which we do have a real trophy. Looking forward to that for whoever gets it. So at this point, let's just have a good time, good championship. My starting quarterback, Tua, will not be playing, but I do have Jared Goff, who's been on a hot streak.
That is true.
And if I would have started him, I would have whooped your ass.
You would have, man.
Like I said, I
You
would like
have,
that.
man.
That would
Like-
have cleared it.
like you
It
already
wouldn't have
whooped
come
my
down to
ass.
the last game.
You already whooped my ass, but you would have whooped my ass like a redheaded stepchild whooped
I
my
would-
ass,
man.
That would have been. And just to let people know, there's no conspiracy that 3 of the 4 happen to be ATFS host in the studio. That just means we know our shit, people. That just means we know our shit.
At least to a point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, Jacob unfortunately was not part of this fantasy league because he joined the show afterwards. Jacob will be part of it next year. But yeah, 3 of the 3 hosts that are in this fantasy league made it to the playoffs, and now we have 2 hosts in the championship game, which is a huge contrast to last year, because last year, the 2 people who came in dead last in this league this year, they were our championship matchup last year. They dominated last year. It wasn't even close how much they did, dude. You were in that league last year, weren't you? Didn't they not just dominate all year last year?
Yeah.
Nate's dad?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember last year. I know I did not win.
No, you did not, and because we all got our ass kicked by Nate and his dad. I tried to get
they
some
wouldn't
trades.
trade.
They
They
would.
wouldn't trade.
They didn't have to, because I even hit Nate up for a couple trades because he had like all these good players on the bench. He's just like, man, I'm like 12-1. I don't need to trade. I'm like, man, go fuck yourself. So when that dude came and hit me up for a trade this year, I'm like, I really don't need to trade. Sorry, friend. Sound familiar, doesn't it? Look, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back later. He didn't scratch my back, so fuck him.
Listen, I'll also put it this way. I am also going to the championship game without my starting quarterback, Jalen Hurts, most likely. But I was on a 4-game losing streak, 5-game losing streak, and I needed a running back desperately. I hit up Alex, was like, yo, let me get this player for Dak. I'll give you this player and this player for this running back. He said no. Now he's going to be starting against him in the championship game.
Yeah, that may end up coming back and bite me in the ass, but you know what? It is what it is. Like I said, I got my money. That's all I care about. I'm good. The trophy will be a bonus. That'd be cool. My first championship in a few years. But hey, the main thing is we got the money. So now it's just like, hey, let's just see how it goes. But you're right. That could end up biting.
And also, like, I'm doing it without possibly what could have been my highest point getter, Cooper Kupp, that's been out the entire year.
True. True. We also have Steve here in the chat. Y'all better hope the Commanders don't lose, boys. So,
why am I worried about the Commanders?
Who are they even playing this weekend?
They are playing
the Browns, right?
Browns.
Yeah, Browns.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the Browns.
But why would we be worried about the
I
Commanders?
don't know. I mean, if the Commanders lose, that helps the Packers. I don't know.
Well, it helped the Lions more than it will the Packers because the Lions still hold the tiebreaker. You could see the Lions and Packers fighting for that last playoff spot next week. Washington also plays the Cowboys in the final week, which I'm just going to be honest. And Jacob, you may agree with me. I don't know. But I'm at this point, I'm giving, like, if I have any home games left for the Dallas Cowboys, I'm giving the fans half their money back, and I'm resting my starters the rest of the next 2 weeks.
Right.
I don't care. Even if you play them one quarter for crying. But you really need to rest them because defense right now, we're banged up defensively right now. We got to save them for the playoffs. There's nothing better we can do right now than to just go home and rest for the next couple of weeks. We're not going to win the NFC East because Philly's not going to lose out. They're just not going to lose out. And so I think at this point, let's just rest the starters. Let's let Micah Parsons get his breather because he's slowed down a step or two because the man goes 110% every freaking week.
Right.
I think it's just time now. Let's rest the starters and let's prepare for the playoffs. We can't get any higher seed than what we already have. Let's just make it what it is. We're most likely going to have to go to Tampa and whoop Tom Brady's ass, and that's okay with me.
And he was saying that because he is a Packers fan is why he threw that in the chat.
I'm still not worried about them, but either way.
Jacob, what you got?
The unfortunate thing about that, though, is it's not going to happen. We're not going to set our starters because there is still that possibility. Even though it's very, very slim, there's still that possibility we could win the NFC East.
And that's what they're going to look
It's
at.
going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot to lose both of their last games.
And so, right. And of course, Jalen Hurts is out, but that team just has so much talent. They're so talented on both sides.
They almost beat us with Gardner Minshew.
That is very true.
Minshew Mania almost ran wild.
And he played well, too, which honestly hurts Jalen Hurts MVP talks. But, hey.
I don't think it really hurt. I don't think it's going to hurt.
They're just going to view it as like anyone could go on that team and play is the way that they'll view it.
It's like San Francisco. It's the same thing that Brock Purdy's doing right now. It's just that system. It's that style of the system. It's so easy for someone to come in who is at least competent.
Brock is playing next.
Brock is playing
good,
well.
Brock is really good.
He is playing really well. He is probably one of my favorite quarterbacks right now in the league just because of his story alone. So.
Right. Going from Mr. Irrelevant to the position that he's in now.
That's a significant thing about it. It's like, have we had any recent Mr. Irrelevant successes?
No,
I didn't think so.
Nope.
In my 18 plus years watching professional football, I've never seen a Mr. Irrelevant be relevant.
No,
closest one's Tom Brady.
Well,
that's who I can think of. The closest person to a Mr. Irrelevant spot is Tom Brady.
Yeah, him being the closest in the 6th round. I mean, we haven't even really had any 7th rounders pop off to the extent. So yeah, that Brock Purdy is. I mean, the thing is that's wild is that with Brock Purdy and the 49ers, man, this team could actually go pretty deep in the playoffs.
For sure.
That's what's wild about it.
Right now, and even though without bias, Tyler, I don't know how often you listen to the show, but I do not set any bias when I set picks because fucking Ohio State, I pick them motherfuckers every week. Anyway, but without bias, I have said that the Cowboys are going to make the Super Bowl and lose to Buffalo. I've said that for like the last 2 months. And so just because I think their defense is going to really step up eventually. The hard thing about it is, though, they're going to have to go on the road to do it, though. And that's going to suck when you got to go on the road and face you're going to have to face 3 good teams before you get to that Super Bowl.
And speaking of that, since we got him here in studio, let me ask you, Tyler, how are you feeling towards Buffalo and your Super Bowl chances right now?
Not as good as last year.
Not really? Really? I'm interested to hear this take.
I'm just not. I don't know what it is. I'm just not feeling them.
You don't feel the vibe?
No. But bringing Cole back kind of sparked it up a little bit. Well, I'm just not feeling them for some
They've
reason.
been-
Well, what's your current Super Bowl matchup? Because mine was actually Philly and Buffalo, with Philly winning. That's what I said, Jacob, right? That's what's on the board?
Yeah.
I think that's what I had.
Yep.
Okay, so that was mine. That's what I think personally. What is yours?
Kansas City, Philly.
That's fair. That's fair, though.
That
is
is fair.
Yeah.
That's a very fair pick. That is a very fair pick.
Yeah, I don't see us beating Kansas City yet.
You still don't think you guys are there yet?
No.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
they'll be in the championship game, though.
AFC Championship for sure.
Yeah.
You think it's just going to be KC and Buffalo and
Yeah.
AFC?
Yeah, it'll be what, the third?
No,
time?
no,
Three to
last
four,
year.
3 to
Last
4
year was
years.
Cincy,
Yeah, I forgot Cincy last year.
yeah.
Who do you think's going to take out Cincy then, out of the playoffs?
That was a good question.
I think Cincy might have a good chance of making it to the Super Bowl.
I say
again this
since
year.
he's doing the same thing.
They've already proven themselves against KC,
Yes.
and they have a chance to prove themselves against Buffalo this weekend.
And did y'all hear what? Did y'all hear what Joe Burrow gave his offensive lineman for Christmas?
No, what was it?
A 1+ to go on a cruise. That's what he got his offensive lineman for Christmas this year.
That's not a bad gift, though.
That's not a bad
That's
gift
awesome.
at all. That is pretty freaking awesome. That's a paid vacation.
I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
it's better than Zach Wilson giving his offensive line scooters.
They did, yeah, mopeds. They did, yeah, mopeds, which Zach Wilson's going to be one of our talking points of the day.
Oh,
We have a lot of NFL to talk today, like legit. And I was having fun here at the start of the show, just swapping between cams and stuff, but I do have a 5-cam shot, so we're going to go to that now.
Okay.
Ricky, you're a little off, but I can fix you.
That's
worry about
okay.
it. Don't worry about it. I can fix you. But yeah, we do got a nice little 5-cam shot here. Wrong way.
Okay, while you work on that, I do want to pitch in a first topic that we talk about here.
What's
okay,
up?
this comes from a hurting Denver Broncos fan. Let's talk about how John Elway it may be a secret genius, because I think in the bottom of his heart, he may have known that Nathaniel Hackett was not going to make it, and he was getting ready for Sean Payton.
Man,
Now,
Here we go with more conspiracy theories, because that's what Jacob said about Mike McCarthy not too long ago. Y'all, Sean Payton is done. Okay, I don't know if he's done.
he's not done. He's already said that when he returns, he wants Vic Fangio as his DC.
which that would be interesting, him returning to
I don't know if he's a good fit in Denver, though. I don't see him as a good fit in Denver. I just don't see it.
what, Sean?
Yeah,
No.
I don't see him going to Denver.
Even if John Elway were to hire him, I don't see him as a good fit in Denver. That entire program is like literally from top to bottom, like they're shredded. It's that bad. When you are that bad.
But the biggest thing for me though right now, right? Sean Payton has worked with Drew Brees and is kind of, I know he's a defensive minded coach, but he gets the right people in the right places to work with quarterbacks. And right now there's something off with Russell Wilson. I think there's no one that pays attention to football that thinks that Russell Wilson's a top 15 quarterback right now. There's something wrong with him, either technically wise or mentally wise. He's got to get figured out. And I think Sean Payton can get the right people to do that.
I knew when he went to Denver. I said it. He's not going to have success there. It's not going to happen. He doesn't fit. Period. He still doesn't fit. And yeah, dude, does he have time? Well, they're going to have to give him time because they're paying them $40 million a year starting next year. So they're going to have to find a way to make this work. But I said it before and I'll say it again. They had a quarterback named Drew Lock last year. Same QBR rating, and they won more games with Drew Lock last year than what they have with Russell Wilson this year. When you get a high-caliber player like Russell Wilson, I don't care if it's your first year or not. You look at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay went from nothing to Tom Brady coming in and winning a Super Bowl in his first season there. So, no, yeah, so even I'm not saying that you have to win a Super Bowl to have success in your first season. But what I'm saying is that we've seen even rookie quarterbacks have great first years and make the playoffs. This guy ain't even close to the playoffs. It's not. It's that bad.
No, they were
y'all.
eliminated like
It's
3 weeks
that-
ago.
That's that bad. They lost, what was it, 51 to something against the Rams the other day, and it was, oh my goodness gracious, that was horrible.
And what's wild about it though is like the Russell that we're seeing right now, like he's missing so many reads that he would normally obviously hit, and now you're seeing that frustration from the receivers, like clips of where he's like rolling out to the right, looking for one read. And I will say, this example I'm giving is just an example of frustration, not an example of him not getting the right read. But there's like a clear shot in this video where you see Cortland Sutton right there, literally just like stomping the ground, throwing hands up. First off, he wasn't fucking open. But I'm providing that as an example of frustrations are all over the team with the receivers. So even with the weapons that they have, how many of them are even going to stay going next year? Because Judy's had a lot of frustrations this year. We're seeing the frustrations out of Cortland. Like, this team may completely get turned around. And also with this whole situation as well, that's really fascinating, is that the next head coach is not even reporting to the GM. The next head coach is reporting straight to Penner, the new owner of the Broncos. So that's like an overstep now of the GM. So now it's like with the GM's case, it's like, to me, that tells he has no faith in the GM either. Like, that organization's fucked. Like, I don't think bringing in any head coach at this point is going to bring that program, back to any sort of nobility. They're going to stay shit for the next few years. Like, I'm set on.
And
this.
I think another thing that we didn't really expect for when Russell Wilson came over to Denver, we were like, okay, there's no way in hell that their offensive line is going to be worse than Seattle's, and it's much worse than what Seattle's was last year. And that's been Russell Wilson's kind of mantra, going in the last 3 seasons with Seattle was like, hey, please give me an offensive line to fucking block, because if not, I'm taking a second and a half and I'm running for my fucking life. And it's much the same thing, if not worse, now in Denver. So.
Also, Chad is here in the chat with us watching. He said, "Go Dogs, Ohio man, are you ready?"
Oh, I'm more than ready.
More than ready. Hey, I'm looking forward to some good games this weekend in the college world for sure. I mean, honestly, college world and NFL world both. There's a lot of big games this weekend because now we're in bowl game territories. We already have been. Shout out to the Beasts for getting a hell of a beat down on Florida.
Hey, Florida scored though.
Hey, they got 3 points.
Hey, that's all that matters.
And also, shout out to DJ transferring to Oregon State. That was a wild few days when the crystal ball popped up Hawaii. As a Hawaii fan, the way I put, obviously it's very documented on this show. I've been very critical of DJ for a long time, and the way I put it to him, I just don't think he is a starter for one of the most notable programs in FBS today. I just don't. I don't think he's a good Clemson starter. Can he go tear up some Mountain West? Fuck yeah. Come on to Hawaii. Let's go, bro. He'll tear up some Mountain West. And I think he can even tear up some Pac-12. At Oregon State, I'm here for it. Although I did like Oregon State's freshman that stepped in after an injury, Gilbranson. I think he played really well this year, Ben Gilbranson. But, hey, I think DJ will do well in the Pac-12. I just didn't think he was good at Clemson as a starter. I just don't. It was on the field. The tape was clear. You know what I mean? I just never saw it, but hey, I'm here for it when it comes to him being Oregon State. Go Bees, baby. But back to some NFL chat, though. No, the Broncos situation is just absolutely insane. Just because it's just like, they're going to continue to be shit for years to come. We're already seeing the building blocks in place of shit blocks. And also, so when it comes to the Russell Wilson thing in Seattle that was talked about, I was listening to Pat McAfee show today. Naturally, I usually do when I'm driving. And one thing that AQ Shipley said that I thought was that's kind of fascinating, is that AQ, kind of referenced back to a previous point that he had a long time ago where he said, under no circumstances do you let Russ out of your building if you still think he is that same Russ. And with how we've seen kind of things played out, it kind of maybe put it in a different perspective that it may not just be because Seattle was tired of this or tired of that out of his antics or whatever. Maybe it's just because they just didn't think he was going to be the same Russ. You know what I mean? That was a point that he brought up that I thought was like, oh, well, now in hindsight, it's easy to say these things in hindsight. It is. But, it does kind of put things in a little bit different perspective that maybe Seattle just didn't think Russ was going to be the same Russ.
And I think one thing we can definitely point out, of course, the draft's going to come out, later on, what is it, the end of April, whatever it is, before it even comes around. I think we can all agree, Chicago, Denver, Green Bay, the 3 teams, the most important teams that need a good draft this upcoming season.
Yep.
They need to have a good draft this coming season.
And the worst part in Denver's case is they lost all their picks.
Yeah, you're looking at Seattle. They're in a
perfect position.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah, Seattle's gonna have most likely a pretty decent playoff spot, and they're still gonna have the number 4 or 5 pick.
Yeah,
I think Denver's gonna make some moves to get some picks though. They're gonna have to. There's no way you can move on right now with the shit that you have and expect to have success. They're gonna have to move on from players. Jerry Judy's a perfect player. You can go and get a good second, third round pick for Jerry Judy.
Yep.
You can go out and get, whatever you can get for what's his name?
Cortland.
So yes. You can get a good third, fourth round pick probably for him.
But the thing is, like, especially like this year, like this year's receiver class, to my knowledge, other than like the top like 5-6 guys that are probably gonna go in the first round, who are gonna replace those guys with?
Very true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very true.
anyone that you trade away, who right now are you going to replace them with?
But here's the thing, though. We're talking about the future. We're not talking about next year. We've already given up on Denver for next year, man.
True.
Okay.
True. Yeah. That is very true.
Denver could probably win 5 games next year and
Yep.
have more success than this season. Okay. We don't
True,
care.
that is 100%.
You're,
They could
you're
look better
looking
on the
to
field,
build.
yeah.
You're looking to literally build a future. I don't care if they get a freaking receiver from Timbuktu somewhere. There's years to develop those young athletes. They're going to have to do that, and we've seen recent teams have success with certain receivers like that. So, like I said, it's not going to be a give me fix right now. We're talking 3-4 years down the road. They've got to do something to make sure they have a future. Because right now, like you said, they don't have anything right now. It's that bad.
Good defense. That's really it.
That's
The
it.
defense is fine.
with the exception of
Add
them
maybe a
giving
couple
up
more
51
pieces, they're going to
points.
keep looking better,
Right. And like I said, because if you look at it, besides the Rams, I think they've only given up 20 points or more. I think it may be 3 or 4 other games this year, if that.
Yeah, and I think on the flip side of that, though, with the Rams, I think it was just because the offense was just hurting them so much. The defense was just on the field the entire fucking time.
And I don't care what situation Baker Mayfield's in right now with LA. He looks fucking fantastic.
Hey,
looks-
Baker's
Baker's
playing,
playing.
baby. Baker's playing.
Baker is baking right now, okay? He cooking.
And all their starters are basically injured.
Yep. Russ to Colts, lol. Let's ride. Yo, that'd be a Colts move, let me tell you. I don't
It
think
would
it'll
be.
happen this time, but that would be a Colts move.
Colts are getting Anthony Richardson.
Is that? I mean, they're
No,
gonna.
I'm thinking Will Levis.
Yeah,
but,
you're
just
yeah.
to piss Chad off.
Oh
No,
yeah.
no,
Richardson.
that and you would
Will Levis, I think, is a real possibility
Yeah.
for Indy because they're projected a top 10 pick. And speaking of picks and stuff, just as a fan of the team, of course, I do want to talk about the Bears really briefly because I'm kind of curious you guys' thoughts on this because as a Bears fan, my stance is very clear and straight to the point on
Get
this.
a quarterback.
Well, no, calm down, relax. I'm seeing a lot of chatter on Twitter right now that there's the real possibility that the Bears could get the number 1 overall pick and blah 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 because Houston lost and it's helping further. Do you guys see the point in the Bears getting number 1 overall pick? Because I fucking don't.
No.
I don't
like.
either.
I really
Unless
don't.
you trade it.
No, let's see. That's also my point to this. Is like. Because I've been kind of conflicted on this whole thing because it's like, to make sure that the Bears can get that first overall pick, Bears fans need Jaguars to lose. Now, I want the Jaguars to win the division. Shout out to Ricky for calling that one before the season started. Let's get the Jags in the playoffs, baby. That's my number 2 team. Let's go for it. But my stance on it is like, what more value are you going to get at that first overall pick versus the second overall pick? Because I still think the Bears are going to trade down potentially anyway. I don't think the value is that far apart.
But it's going to give them a little bit of leverage,
Right.
just to trade away that pick.
I think both are very tradable
Because
in this
it's
draft.
like you said, how much do they have in their salary cap for this summer?
Like 120?
Yeah, it's quite a bit. That's 120 million that you can
Most
use
by
this
a
year.
landslide?
And so even if you were to, let's say, draft a young player that comes out of the draft, whoever they decide to draft.
I think Will Anderson or Jalen Carter, personally. Shout out to you, Chad. I think Jalen Carter could be a Bear.
Jalen Carter could probably be a Bear. I could see that happen. I could see him fitting very well with Justin Fields. But in the long run, it's really not going to matter. But in the short run, that's a lot of leverage that you can have.
Yeah. I don't know. Bears fans are super pumped about it, but I'm just like, I don't think there's a huge
I
difference
think
personally.
right now, unless
I'm cool with second pick.
I think if you're in the top 10, especially in the Bears kind of situation, with being in the top 10 pick and also having all this cap room, why not trade out?
See, that's my mindset.
Why not trade out? Because you're going to have these teams that are just outside of the top 10. They're going to want to give a lot of assets up to get into that top 10 to get their player that they're going to want. Why not build on that?
Now, one team I've seen a lot of people saying that could be a projected trade. I don't see it happening. The only way I see this happening is if they give up their other first-round pick too. But I've seen a lot of chatter with the Lions, and I'm just like, I don't see us trading in-division rival to move up to second so they can get their future quarterback if they go that direction.
What about Cincy for T. Higgins?
No, I wouldn't give. I wouldn't give up the.
No,
Yeah, I wouldn't give up the second.
They're not going to give up any other wide receivers at this point. None of the big three.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't-
appreciate you calling Tyler Boyd a big three.
He's a big Tyler Boyd fan.
I appreciate
Tyler's
that.
a big Tyler Boyd fan. It's one of his favorite
It's only
receivers.
because they have the same name.
True.
He went to Pitt, so obviously I don't like him because of that. but,
Yeah,
you
good
know,
old backyard brawl. Yeah.
fuck Pitt.
Not backyard brawl. It's the other one. My bad. But
Not as big as fuck Temple and Rutgers though.
you need to relax with
So-
those. They are so irrelevant, bro.
So, but you like the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No,
No,
Oh, but you like
fuck
Ben
the Steelers.
but you like Ben Roethlisberger when Ben Roethlisberger. We were just talking about this before you came here.
I like Big Ben on fantasy
Okay.
no.
because he led me to a lot of wins. My
What did
first year in
Temple do
fantasy.
to you, man?
They are technically a rival of Penn State, but that is not a fucking
they're
rival.
not.
Yes, they are.
They
are
are.
legitimately a rival.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
you,
from the 1950s.
exactly,
But not now.
bro. The last time Temple won against Penn State was like 40 years ago. You look at the official rivalry
No,
and
they
look
beat
at the
us a couple
results.
years ago.
No,
Matt
they-
Rule. I swear Matt Rule beat us a couple years
No,
ago.
I do. When I last looked at this rivalry, because you and I have argued at this at length.
Oh, my goodness
that is
gracious.
not a rivalry.
For the love of God.
And then he just hates Rutgers because
This is
you
like
know they're
Arkansas,
trying to flex
Missouri,
that they're
man.
in a
It's
Power
not a
5.
rivalry.
Yeah, that's not a rivalry.
No, yeah, they beat us.
Leave Rutgers alone. Rutgers
Exactly,
didn't do
man.
anything to
Rutgers
anybody.
didn't do
He just
nothing
hates
to you.
Rutgers because they try to act big because they're in the Big Ten.
Hey, we took a loss 2015.
Okay, all right. I
that was
stand
Matt.
corrected.
That was Matt Rule.
I stand corrected. They've lost once to Temple in the last 40 years.
Because I was at
It's
work.
not
I was
a
at work-
rivalry.
I was at work when it happened. I was
It's
like,
not
man,
a
fuck
rivalry.
that.
Wait. Wasn't 2015? Wasn't that close to when the transition was happening? With that whole
Yeah.
controversy with Penn State.
Yeah, that was when James Franklin came
Oh,
in.
so that doesn't matter then.
Not a
That game
rivalry.
doesn't matter.
Not a rivalry.
See, I have
Ask
never,
Chad about that. Ask
See,
Chad
this
about
is
that.
this is what makes you so significant when it comes to sports. Like you root for some of the weirdest teams in the entire world, like the Buffalo Bills. Before Buffalo was great, you were a Buffalo Bills fan.
True.
And then your entire freaking fantasy draft last year. I remember drafting with this dude last year. He had 4 freaking Buffalo Bill picks in the first 4 rounds.
I'll stick out for.
And then not only that, you're pissed off at teams that have no relevancy whatsoever.
Bro,
None.
it's true.
You got to, man.
He also
I can't
hates.
be pissed off at Ohio State. We can't fucking beat Ohio State.
Well, that's very true.
Okay.
So
like, what am I gonna do?
I'm just saying, I don't think I've ever met anyone that says, "Man, I'm pissed at Temple."
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
He also hates Maryland because they try to make themselves a rival with
Yeah.
Penn State.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I
try
could-
to make a rival. And
Yeah.
yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs from Maryland.
Oh
but, hey,
my
See, when it
Fuck
comes
'em anyway.
when it comes to like all the people that I know with sports, I can definitely say that me and Tyler are probably the most random sports fans out there. But Tyler has the most random hates out there.
yeah.
Like here's something else that I like in basketball. I don't know why, but I follow the Virginia Military Institute. I just follow them. Just 'cause I'm like,
VMI.
you know what, VMI, man.
Let's ride,
VMI,
man.
let's ride.
Hey, I used-
Jacob's
I used
face
to
right
pick-
now.
What?
Hey, Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Let's ride,
That's,
dude.
there you go. There
Let's
you
go.
But I'm
Man.
serious. So like I'll do that in NCAA like for basketball because I'm like, I'm always into some of the mid-major to the low
man. You gotta
teams
pick them
that I'm like,
13
who's gonna pick up, who's gonna do this and that, especially for the NCAA tournament.
Hey.
Like the NCAA tournament, I've gotten a few good upsets
Hey,
over the last couple
I'm
of years.
taking Mercer every time. I don't care. First round.
taking Mercer every time.
Mercer, Bucknell, Norfolk State.
I won't take
Taking-
Bucknell this
taking
year
all
though. I won't take Bucknell this year though.
They're probably gonna play Arkansas.
Hey, we also got a question from Chad and Chad. What's the score prediction on Ohio State and Georgia?
Georgia 45, Ohio State 7.
Whoa! What?
Hey, 47. My fault. I forgot the 4.
Okay. Listen. Are we gonna do this predictions now? Or are we gonna wait till later? To
Oh,
do
we're gonna
these
wait till
predictions?
later.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
let's
just
wait.
gotta hype Chad up a little bit. You
Yeah.
know?
Okay. Well, just real quick.
Not only
we'll-
that, you're
we'll-
hyping
we'll-
Jacob up because he's about to have a freaking stroke.
Jacob,
up
do you
here.
wanna-
He's
do you wanna
betting
throw-
that score.
Do you want to throw your score out now, or do you want to wait till later?
I'm waiting. I'm
Okay,
waiting to get
okay.
back. I want to get back on track here with this fucking Chicago Bears trade.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
back-
We did get a little bit off
Yeah,
topic.
we did. Back
Go
on
VMI.
the
Go
rails. Back on the rails.
VMI.
Chicago is not going to trade their draft pick, and let me tell you why.
Because they need
They
to.
want the best defensive lineman, and there is multiple teams within the
Yeah.
top 10 that
Yep.
are going to be going defensive line. You're going to see Atlanta. You're going to see Arizona, Seattle. It's just multiple teams are going to want to go on the defensive side, and Chicago needs D-line.
So
they need good D-line too.
Jalen Carter.
So I'm glad you brought that up because here's a couple of here's a couple of D linemen, and there's one that's an edge that's in the mock draft right now, and I want to see if you think this would fit. Miles Murphy out of Clemson.
No,
he's one of the top ones. All right, Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech.
No.
Really? Okay, then that's the only ones that's up at the top right now as far as defensive line goes. Everybody else, as far as this mock draft goes, you're looking at a bunch of quarterbacks, you're looking at cornerbacks, and of course receivers and everything like that.
Bryce Young is usually the common number one I've seen
Bryce
so far.
Young is the common number one.
Two
right now.
is I've seen mostly Jalen Carter. I've seen also Paris Johnson. Projection does, which we need O-line help pretty bad, but it's the question: are we going to do that in free agency or not? I'm going to guess free agency, and I think we're going to go defense. That second.
I forgot about Will Anderson Jr.
Yeah, Will Anderson. Yeah,
Will Anderson Jr.
I've seen a lot of projections to him go to Seattle.
Yeah, but I have to, and best say if Will Anderson does not go top 5, people are out of their fucking minds.
Yeah. Then there's going to be just the questions of where are the other 2 quarterbacks projected to go top 10 going to go? Where's CJ going to go? Where's Will going to go? Then, of course, there's a lot of chat with Anthony Richardson going in the first round, but later because he's like a more developmental quarterback, which he is. So going later in the draft, which I've also seen the Lions grabbing Anthony Richardson with like their 18th pick. Yeah, and then them going somewhere else with their 4th or 5th.
This mock draft has Chicago getting Jalen Carter out of Georgia.
I like that pick though. I like Jalen Carter pick.
I think that's a good.
I'm here for that. I'm pumped for the draft. We're doing our draft live stream again, so that's gonna be exciting.
That's gonna be fun. I'm ready. That's gonna be a lot of fun this year.
A
lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a long show that you do feel how long it is, but you're staying energized and like having a great time the whole time because there's constantly shit happening, you know? Because like me and Zach, we just did the Game Awards thing, and there's so much dead air like in the Game Awards where Zach and I are just talking about whatever, and like towards like the last like 30 minutes, bro, you could see it on stream. We were tired. We were done, man. That was about the same length. It was like right about 4 hours or so, which is what our draft special was.
I almost threw my phone out the car whenever I heard that. Whenever I heard Dallas' #1 pick in the draft, I'm like, what the?
Jacob was on call with us. Shout out. Shout out, man.
I about broke my radio, my phone.
One of my favorite lines from that special was from my good friend Brady, where all he said is, I hate this team. Oh, man, that was hilarious.
I like because I forgot what the name was, but drafted the wrong, was the wrong Chris? I think it was the wrong Chris.
The wrong Tyler.
Wrong Tyler. Yeah.
Linderbaum and Tyler Smith.
Yeah, because we were pulling hard for Linderbaum. Yeah. Anyway, back to some NFL talk, though. So we've already kind of briefly we touched on the 49ers thing and how well Brock Purdy is doing. So do we have more we want to add on that, or we want to go ahead and hit the next one?
I mean, could you imagine a scenario where Brock Purdy leads them maybe to an NFC Championship game, maybe not to the Super Bowl, but to an NFC Championship game, and they just fucking move on from Trey and Jimmy? And
see, that's going to be the question. If it depending on how far they go with Brock, and Brock looks good or at least solid the whole time, what do they do? Because obviously we know they're moving on from Jimmy. That part's done. But then it's the question of Trey. What do you do? Because now they're put into a same situation that the Jets are in, which is another one of our talking points of the day, where you have a guy that you drafted really late who's balling the fuck out and who's got a big ass dick that he's flexing every single week.
And then you have Buffalo.
True. And then you have a guy who you drafted super high, and in Trey's case, it's tough to judge him. The little bit we've seen, I don't personally think he's been impressive because I know, like, watching in the preseason, I know it's preseason, but he was going up against first team Houston defense, which I know it's Houston, they suck, but the secondary doesn't suck. It's actually a pretty good team. They have a lot of takeaways, and they shut him the fuck down in that preseason game. He has ones versus ones. So, like, the little bit of tape we've seen from Trey has not been impressive. You can't talk about Chicago. That was a fucking monsoon. You can't take anything negative against anyone in that game. But like, it hasn't been impressive. There's not enough of a sample size, which makes their situation a lot harder than the Jets. In my opinion, the Jets clear cut, straight to the point. You roll with Mike White up front. And then there's already reports that the Zach Wilson Jet time is done. They're moving on from the Jets. They're moving on from Zach as they should. But yeah, in 49ers case, man, I'm telling you, if Brock plays at least well and takes them and wins a playoff game, what do you do? Because you don't have a good sample size with Trey. What do you do?
Well, see, I think in some ways it's almost unfair to Jimmy G because Jimmy G did lead them to a NFC Championship
And
game
a
last
Super
year.
Bowl.
I mean, I don't.
And a Super Bowl game.
I mean, me frankly, I don't understand the immediate. Hey, we got to get rid of Jimmy. I don't.
Well, here's
the only thing I can think of is like, hey, we have 2 other quarterbacks that are performing. Why not get rid of Jimmy, which is actually probably should be the starter, but he's a little bit older, so let's get the value where it is.
You know, I've actually seen chatter where Jimmy could actually come back on a lower deal. Like, there's mutual interest.
There is. And I think one of the things we have to also see is Jimmy G wins games, but it's never pretty. Not usually.
He's never the reason they win the
Exactly.
games, but he wins the games.
Exactly. He does just enough.
Yeah.
Where he just blends in just enough for them to win games. But he's not one of those quarterbacks. He's not one of those quarterbacks that's going to throw the ball 40, 50 times a game and be able to carry you to win a football game. You know, you may see him win a game or two, but if you're in the playoffs or something like that, he's not one of those guys that you can rely on to throw 40 or 50 times, which we have seen in recent history. There are quarterbacks that have to throw the ball that much just to even have a chance to win the game.
Cincinnati. Joe Burrow went 40 for 52?
Yep.
Did you guys see that stat line? I don't remember what it was.
It was massive.
Like the unreal 52 passes or 52 or 58. I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, that's how Jimmy G's always been. I mean, let's not forget the game where in the playoff game against the Packers, I think he only threw the ball 9 times. And that was the game where the 49ers had 150 yards before contact, just rushing the ball. He does just enough. But that also comes to the point with Brock. It's just if Brock does some shit to help win them a playoff game, I don't, with how he's played consistently as a rookie and just what he brings to the table, I don't know how you move on from him. I mean, obviously you wouldn't. He's under that rookie contract and all, but I don't know how you don't run with the idea of him being a starter. And just because they gave up a lot for Trey Lance, I get it. But I don't know, man. If you got one guy that's doing it and one guy that's the little bit sample size you got is mid.
The only reason why I would is that you get Jimmy G back on a lower deal, and the want for Brock Purdy is super high. Like people are offering maybe second, third round pick with maybe a player. Then you're like, okay, we can bring Jimmy G in for less money, get something out of Brock. Let's send him off somewhere else, and try to continue building this team. That's the only reason why I could think they can move on from Brock.
And man, if they do that and Brock goes on, has a decent couple years, and Trey stinks, you got some jobs being lost over in San Fran.
Brock Purdy to the Cowboys, baby. Brock Purdy to the Cowboys.
You know what, Brock Purdy?
I'm just joking, Jacob.
I'm going to be honest.
Just joking.
I'm going to be honest.
Hey, I mean, let's be real, Jacob. You did say that it may be time to look past Dak long term. So
it is.
It's a Purdy party in Dallas.
But here's the thing. Do we give credit to Brock Purdy, or do we give credit to how this offensive scheme is? I think we give more credit to this offensive scheme because I think you could be able to plug in almost any quarterback into this type of system and they do good. I think if Jimmy G is ready to go by playoffs, he's going to start. I don't think Brock is going to start in a playoff game this year.
But the thing is, though, also a concern with Jimmy G, and I think we can all kind of vouch for this. I mean, in the last 3 years, he's played maybe 8 games, 9 games. I mean, he's consistently hurt, and it's not like, oh, you're out for a quarter, oh, you're out for 2 games. No, it's consistently, oh, you're out 4 games, 5 games, 6 games.
But I would rather if it was me calling the shots, I would rather personally have and rely on a veteran quarterback in the playoffs than someone who is still, in my mind, not tested enough.
I agree.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
I agree.
Because Jimmy's been there, and he's done that. He's helped lead a team to the Super Bowl. And really, I mean, let's go ahead and point out, he was one pass away from being a Super Bowl champion. Well, he already is, but a Super Bowl champion that he's a starter of. He was one pass away, just one overthrow away from being a champion right now for the 49ers.
But again, going to the flip side, I mean, do you really want to see a situation where Jimmy G comes in playoffs, they play well, they make it to the NFC Championship game, and then halfway through they get hurt. They may win the game or not, and then boom, he's out in the Super Bowl, and you have a Philadelphia type situation where you have to bring in Brock anyways for the Super Bowl.
In that case, you just roll with it.
But at least you have that option.
Yeah.
That option is still there regardless of what happens. If Brock starts and he gets hurt, you have Jimmy G, and vice versa.
Hey, look, word for Philly. Let's not forget how that championship weekend looked that year for the starting quarterback. You had Tom, Blake Bortles, Case Keenum, and Nick Foles.
Big Dick Nick Foles.
Man, he sucked last night for Indy.
I mean,
Indy is just so bad, man.
Anybody would suck for Indy right now.
I mean, right now,
Like,
look at the division that I forgot what division it is. That San Francisco's in. I
NFC
mean,
West.
Yeah, you got fucking Brock Purdy and all those other quarterbacks. You're like, who the fuck?
Yeah, you Brock Purdy, Geno Smith. You have Kyler, who Kyler's been hurt, and Colt's been starting. Well, no, Trace started. Trace McSorley started.
Solid.
Hey,
Yeah.
he looked pretty good in
Alabama
that game
Tom.
against Tampa Bay. Shout out to the Penn State boy.
Right. And then, of course, you got Baker down in L.A. What a ragtag group
I
over
swear.
in the NFC West.
It's like the Rascals just joined together in the NFC West.
Yeah, just what a ragtag group, man. Jeez. Oh, dude. So in terms of like the playoff hunt and stuff, I actually got the playoff picture all set up here for us that I can run through. And there's a lot of conversations where, the Jags are in the playoff hunt. Like I said earlier, shout out to Ricky for even calling that before the season started. That his predicted winner for the AFC South.
I think the Titans, all they got to do is lose one game, and Jacksonville's got to win one game, and that's it.
Yeah, which that's actually one thing that I'm actually really proud of as a show is that all three of us mutually called and predicted that we were about to start seeing the Titans decline. Like all of us called that. We all mutually said this is what we think is going to happen with the Titans. This of course being before Jakub's on, that's why I strictly referred to it as 3. But yeah, that was a prediction we all had, and I'm proud of that one because we have seen it, and now it's priming the Jaguars up for a potential playoff run, which is going to be kind of entertaining to watch.
But I don't think, I didn't see the Jags. Like, I saw the Jags barely squeaking in like they are right now. But I for sure, and like I said, I knew Indy was going to be a little overrated. But they have so much talent.
They
on
really
that
are,
roster.
That is by far my biggest
That is
surprise that they're as bad as they are. With
I
that
100%
talent.
agree. That
I
is my
think
biggest shocker.
It's like when you have a team top to bottom, you could compare them at position by position against everybody, and you're probably going to take them more than you would others. And it's like you're that bad. It's just terrible.
Yeah, and then it just comes down to like, okay, well, who's playing quarterback? And you're like, okay, you've seen 7 quarterbacks in the last 2 years play for Indianapolis. You're like, bruh, okay, now we know what the situation is.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Andrew Luck did his retirement, and
I was
that
about
team.
to say it's time to call the luck back, man. It's time to call the luck back.
Yeah,
I mean, he
dude.
did
Come out of retirement, please.
did an
Come out of
interview-
retirement.
Hey, he's living his best life.
Yeah, but
He
he did an interview during a Stanford game one day, and he said that he does miss it, but he would never go back.
He actually did a full interview that was a full story that you can read on ESPN Plus. I forgot who broke the story. It's pretty damn long. I read about halfway through it before I went back to work, and it was pretty fascinating to kind of read through. He said his biggest regret is just the timing of his retirement. He said that's his biggest regret. He doesn't regret retiring at all because it just, he was hurt just all the time, going through multiple
neck injuries,
rehab after rehab after rehab, and he just because of that, it just made him lose the love of the game to play.
It just gets you to a certain point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, and that's where Luck got to. Which now he's literally just living his best life, with his kid, whatever. Just going,
No neck beard.
Yeah, going fishing. Just he's not bulked like he was before. He's still in very good shape, but he's not like a big imposing dude like he was. But no, I mean it was a fascinating read. I definitely recommend people checking it out though. But no, the playoff hunt. So I'll kind of run through this. We'll kind of give our thoughts on stuff because there's a lot of different conversation with the Jags, all the teams that are currently in the hunt and stuff. So starting with the AFC, we do have Buffalo, who's clinched playoff and division. Is currently sitting at the 1 seed. Cincinnati's in the same spot there at playoff and division, sitting at the 2. Cincy's clinched playoff at the 3 seed. Jacksonville's projected 4th just because division winner, which is also another conversation we'll throw out here. Baltimore at the 5th spot. They've clinched playoffs. Chargers clinched playoffs last night at the 6th, and then the 7th currently projected is Miami, which could potentially lose it. I know they got Teddy back there to play for him, but I do think Tua is going to miss the rest of the year, and they're trying to bring him back for the playoffs is what they're going to try to go for, in my opinion. Which that's a whole other conversation there with concussion thing. And then in the hunt we have New England, Jets, Titans, Pittsburgh, and Vegas, which we know Vegas is not going to make it, but they are technically in the hunt, but we know that's not happening. And then NFC, Philly clinched the playoffs only so far. Minnesota playoffs and divisions. San Fran playoffs. Tampa Bay with also a losing record, sitting at the 4th there, though, for the NFC South rep. Dallas clinched the playoffs. Shout out to you guys. And then Giants at 6, Commanders at 7, and in the hunt, Seattle, Detroit, Green Bay, Carolina, and New Orleans. And, of course, Carolina, New Orleans. That's, it's straightforward. That's just, all for NFC South there. So, really, it's just like the other 3 that are in the hunt, in my opinion, because it's just that one spot's going to be kind of clear-cut there. But, how are we feeling about who's going to make it in? And Jacob, I saw you put your playoff predictions in Discord. I don't have it pulled up right now about how you think everyone's going to go. We'll start with the AFC. There's only one spot left to be clinched technically, and that's the 7 because we know 4 is going to be Tennessee or Jacksonville. How are we feeling about the AFC now? Who's going to be that last spot, and who's going to win the AFC South? You know who I'm going. Let's go Jags, baby. I'm looking at the Jags schedule. I think it's definitely possible. Jags and Titans schedule. Titans, Jags, they played last week. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be a very, very big game. I'm ready for it.
So I will go ahead and point this out. I think this week for the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots, they play each other this week.
Yep.
That's going to be the most important game
for this weekend.
You look at Miami, Tua is out with the concussion. There's a possibility Mac Jones is going to be suspended because of the play that he had the other day, which whenever they decide to come out with that. So if you have that situation, more than likely you're looking at New England getting that final spot. Unless somehow, some way, let me pull this up again because I had this scenario a while ago. That's probably the only other explanation, and I'm going to point this out. The Pittsburgh Steelers could still sneak in and get that final spot. I'm going to point that out right now. So here's the thing.
Can't count Mike Tomlin out,
You
guys.
can't count this guy
We've been
out.
saying it all year, man. He's going to at least end above 500,
So,
I feel like.
They're going to the Ravens, who is obviously the division rival, and they play the
And they're a
Browns.
little banged up, too.
And the Ravens are banged up. The Browns, for whatever reason, the Browns still look terrible. They look even a little bit worse, I would say.
In my opinion, they do.
And since Deshaun Watson's been their quarterback, they probably should have stuck with Jacoby Brissett the rest of the year. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So if you see Pittsburgh win these next 2 games, I don't know. Let me look at the schedules. I don't think they played the Patriots this year. They barely lost to the Dolphins. Yes, they did. They lost by 3 to the Patriots. So they would hope that the Patriots would lose at least 1 game. And that game would probably be not this week, but next week. Let me see who the Patriots played next week because I had it on the top of my head. I think it's the Jets, but I could be wrong. No, it's the Bills.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're going to lose that game.
So it's the Bills. So there is a good possibility you could see the Pittsburgh Steelers once again, just like last year. 'Cause y'all remember last year, they barely made the playoffs. They had that last spot.
They only made it because the Chargers decided to get greedy and not go for the tie. That was the only reason.
And so realistically, I think, but Miami has to lose this week for that to happen.
Yeah.
If Miami wins, it's over with. They're going to be able to clinch the play because they hold the tiebreaker because they beat Pittsburgh early in the year, and so did New England.
Yeah.
But
Everybody in from the East beat Pittsburgh.
yeah, everybody.
And then also one thing to also kind of throw out there that will be competing for that spot, especially if like the Patriots catch that dub against the Dolphins, since they are, kind of firmly in that 7 spot, is, I'm just saying he's cleared. Big Dick Mike White is playing this weekend, man. The Jets are going to have some fire underneath him again, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to win their next 2 games.
They will
have a chance, though. Let's see here. Who do the Jets play this week?
That's a great question we pulled up.
See, and that's sad. That is very sad because the Jets were so
Seattle.
good, and they've lost 4 in a row.
Blame Zach Wilson, man. I'm telling
At
you.
Seattle, at Miami. Those are 2 winnable games right there, in my opinion.
I think so, too.
Especially if Mike White comes back.
Yeah, Mike White leading that team, dude. Imagine they make the playoffs. That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a very interesting scenario, especially if Miami loses. If Miami wins, it's over.
Right.
If Miami wins, it's over. There's no way they come back if Miami wins. So
I don't see Miami losing this weekend because if what's going to happen if Tua's out and Mac Jones gets suspended, it's going to be Bailey Zappi versus Teddy Bridgewater, and I would rather take Teddy Bridgewater than Bailey Zappi.
No, I'm taking Zappy all day.
I'm going to disagree. I'm taking
Zappy.
Bailey
I'm
Zappi.
taking
Really?
I'm taking
Yes.
Zappy.
I've seen enough of Teddy
Zappy.
Wait, do you have his card?
I have seen enough of Teddy Bridgewater, and if there's
That's
one,
so random.
that's hilarious.
Oh,
You
that's
gotta-
for you, by the way.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's got a Bailey Zappi card.
Hey,
Here, let me go to host here.
So anyway,
that is Zappy.
so if there's any, but here's something else, guys. If there's any other coach you don't count out, I don't care who's on his team, Bill Belichick. You do not count him out whatsoever.
So wait, you would rather take Bailey Zappi
Yes.
with the weak Patriot offense versus Teddy Bridgewater and a very strong Dolphins offense, especially with Tyreek Hill.
Every team Teddy Bridgewater has been on, whether he's been loaded with talent around or any talent at all, we've seen the same Teddy Bridgewater. He is just mediocre, and that's that. He's just mediocre. It does not matter who you put around that guy. He is not one of those guys that's going to be able to say, oh, lead us to a championship. It's not going to, and neither is Bailey Zappi. But I'm just telling you in general, you don't count out Bill Belichick. I have Bill Belichick on the New England Patriots side more than I do anything. And you can't count out my man Hunter Henry, man, at tight end for the New England Patriots, man. You can't count out Hunter Henry.
And the
He
thing
definitely
is,
can because he's been very inconsistent.
Yeah.
That's
this year.
because it's because they don't revolve the offense around him, Jacob.
And I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be completely honest. If it's not this year, it'll be after next year. Mac Jones will not be the starting quarterback for the Patriots.
I could personally see that.
I could
honestly.
see it as well.
I think if anybody is going to trade with Chicago this year to jump into that top 5, it's gonna be the Patriots for a quarterback.
That's very, very interesting.
Patriots would have to give up a lot.
Yeah, I mean, then seeing this, the thing also is Bailey Zappi. He may be playing with lesser talent, but he's elevating them, and that's what you want from a quarterback, right? I mean, the 2 games that we saw him, he played really well and made those players. I mean, definitely
But
play a lot
can
better.
Can he stay that way for the long term? Is he a long term fit? It's just too unknown
So,
as of right
Listen,
now.
Bailey Zappi is a goated college quarterback. I'm down for it. He's got Bill Belichick behind him.
College
Here
is
I'm
is
here for
where
it.
I disagree.
I will, Jacob. That was one of our jokes for a long time. Is that Bailey Zappi is the greatest college quarterback in college history?
So here's the thing, Jacob.
Not named called Brennan.
Correct. Shout out to
So
Colt.
Alex
Rest in
said
peace.
that New England would have to give up a lot. What do they have? Everybody that plays for them usually just gets come up out of nowhere and then they go somewhere else to make big money. They don't have anybody like that right now.
I don't think I would. Me as a Bears fan, they don't have anything that I would want for a
I
trade
mean,
to get
there's-
that second
there-
pick.
I wouldn't
Judon?
want to.
No.
No, hell no.
I wouldn't do that.
Not even Judon?
No.
No, I wouldn't do that personally. And I will say in the argument here of like Dolphins and Patriots and Teddy and Zappi, my stance is this. I think the Dolphins are going to win the game because I think they are the better team.
No, they are.
But I will say with you, it's true. Don't count on Bill Belichick. Now, also to another point though, in terms of straight quarterback play, give me Zappi. Zappi over Teddy. That's my stance. I'm a Zappi fan. But in terms of a team play, I'm on the side of the Dolphins. I just think they have the better team.
That's where I agree. But
Yeah.
like if it's
straight quarterback play,
I'm taking Zappi.
yeah, give me Zappi over Teddy personally. But I'm also a Zappi fan. Personally.
I mean, yeah. Teddy's not the same person he was when he was drafted
That
with
is very
Minnesota.
true. That is very
yeah,
true.
but I think
mean,
the Dolphins are going to win this game.
I mean, if it was Minnesota, Teddy Bridgewater, yeah, give me Teddy Bridgewater all day. But he's not that guy anymore.
And in terms of just the AFC playoffs, honestly, like the current projected standings of 1-7, that's my playoffs. Like that's how I think it's gonna play out. Is I think Jags will lock up the AFC South. I think Jags gonna go to the playoffs, which man, that's just a turnaround on its own. I mean, for real, from what they were last year in one of the worst possible states you could ever see for an NFL program to granted may not have a winning record. They'll probably in they would. They'd probably in 9-8. Yeah.
And unless Baltimore slips, because Baltimore can still slip another spot, it looks like they're going to play Baltimore in the first round. Unless, like I said, unless they slip and the Chargers sneak up to that 5th spot, because none of them could get any higher than the 5th and 6th spot.
Yeah. I think Jacksonville will lock up the AFC South, and I think Miami will. I think they'll stay strong. I think they'll stay strong, and they'll finish up at that 7th spot. I just think Miami has too much talent still. Granted, you're going to be rocking with Teddy, and, Teddy is a veteran guy who can do just enough for you. If you got the weapons of that you have with Hill and Waddle, just Just get it in their hands somehow, man. You'll be okay. Not to
Just
mention
throw the
they have
football in the air. They'll find a way to catch it.
exactly. And they have a good enough defense. I think personally, Miami's going to lock up that 7th spot. Like I think how we have it now, this is going to be the playoffs.
I mean, if Miami wins, they clinch it.
Yep.
Here is my counter trade. Okay, I've been thinking about this for a little bit.
Okay.
I am still going to offer you Matthew Judon, who has the 2nd most sacks this year.
Okay.
He is insane.
Okay.
And I'm also going to throw you Isaiah Wynn, who is right tackle.
Yep.
From Georgia.
Yep.
Very young.
Yep.
Good talent.
Yep.
You get a good defensive player, and you get a fantastic offensive line that you desperately need. Would you take that?
I think, in my opinion, throw a pick in there. Throw like a 4th, 5th pick in there, and it's a deal.
I wouldn't.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I don't
That's
know.
quite a bit.
I mean, for a top 5 pick,
For the second overall draft pick.
For the second overall pick,
offensive player.
For a second overall pick, yeah, I'm sorry, you got to give up those 2 players in a pick. Even if it's like a 5th, 6th round, you got to do it.
If you
I'm
throw
sorry.
in a pick, then I think the Bears would hear it out.
I mean, that's 2 first-round draft picks already right there in Judon and Wynn.
Got to throw in a draft
Sorry,
pick.
for a
I think
second round pick, you got to do it.
For a
Sorry.
second overall.
Even then, though, I don't see New England giving them up like
I
that.
don't-
Now, once they're toward the end of their rookie contracts, just like they have.
Yeah,
with
that's a
everything
different.
else,
That's a different story.
That's a different story. No.
That's when Bill may be ready to get him gone. You know? Oh man. Okay. NFC though. This one's a little bit more wide open because we got a couple spots not locked up. How do you guys think the NFC is going to play out? Well, first off, who do you think is going to win the NFC South? You think it's going to be Tampa?
Probably.
I mean, they've got Tom Brady. They've already got a 10% more better chance of winning it just because of him. I mean, even though they have not played consistently
I think it's
or
gonna be the
good.
Bucks, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because I think all they have to do is win one more game. Let me look here. I think they're playing.
Is it crazy that I think
they're playing.
that
They're
New
playing
Orleans
Carolina.
might take it?
New Orleans could take it. That was
They play
another.
Philly next, so they're not gonna win.
Tampa?
Ah,
No, New Orleans.
Jalen
yeah,
Hurts is still out.
It doesn't matter, man. You got
Yeah,
Minshew
but
mania.
where's it at?
Philly.
It doesn't matter. You got Minshew mania.
Philly.
Yeah, it's in Philly. Yeah, that's.
Give me Minshew every day of the week.
And I mean, that defense is literally a top 3, if not the best defense in the league right now. So
I mean, if Tampa ends up losing to Tampa ends up losing to the Panthers,
They play Atlanta last. They're not losing twice.
That's true. Saints will lose, in my opinion, to Philly.
yeah, that'd be the only way the
Yeah.
Saints could get in. They have to win out,
Yeah.
and they would have to hope that Tom Brady loses at least one more game, which
Yeah.
is possible.
And then Carolina at Tampa Bay. I mean, give me Tampa in that game personally. So I mean, I think Tampa will just lock up that spot.
Even though Carolina has looked good in spots this year.
They have, and they had a great
Especially
run
here
attack.
recently.
They had a great run attack this past weekend.
yeah,
Great
they
run.
put
Great
they
run
put up
attack.
like 300 yards. It's freaking nuts.
I didn't even have the Panthers winning 6 games all year.
I
didn't have
know.
the Panthers winning 6 games the next 2 years combined.
I know.
Let alone the freaking goodness gracious. Let's see here. Yeah, I can see if Carolina does beat Tom Brady, that'll be, both of them will be at 7-9. Carolina would then turn around and have to play the Saints next week. Oh, that's 2 road games. But as of late, they beat the Lions, which they beat the shit out of the Lions. But they've won 3 of their last 4 games, and if you look at it, 4 of their last 6. So yeah, if Carolina makes the playoffs, I swear.
Sam Darnold, baby, he's been playing decent
man,
since
yeah.
he
So
started
you
back.
I could see it happening, but I think Carolina loses one of their next 2 games. I don't think they win both.
I agree. I think, like I said, I'm on the Tampa Bay train for this one. That they'll just win out and make it to the playoffs. Then it leaves the last 2 spots, 6 and 7, are still not locked up.
One thing that does help Carolina a little bit is their offense is a little bit better than Tampa's. Tampa's offense
Right now,
Tampa's offense has been horrible this year. I mean, they have been terrible offensively, but defensively they're still really, really good. So that really does help them in the long run. Let me look at Tampa's schedule real quick because I've got something on.
Are we on the board of Giants and Washington both potentially making the playoffs? Or are we kind of thinking
think
maybe
Washington's gonna
Seattle,
drop out.
Detroit?
I think Washington.
I don't think Washington's going to make it.
I think both of them are going to lose at least one of the last 2 games for each because, I mean, the Giants still have to play Philadelphia and Washington still has to play Dallas.
Well, Giants have a better shot because they should have an easy W this weekend versus Indy. So that's already a free pass.
Mean, Washington should have an easy W with Cleveland this weekend, theoretically.
That one's more
make it
even
better.
in my opinion. I think they both kind of stink.
I think if it wasn't for that loss this weekend, if Detroit would have won this weekend, they would have had a lot better of a case to make it in. I don't think Seattle's going to make it in. Definitely, I hope to God Green Bay does not make it in.
Look,
No.
that's a conversation,
they play
man.
Dallas,
They're getting hot at the right time.
If Green Bay makes it and they play Dallas, we're fucked.
Well, but that's the thing, though. They wouldn't play Dallas. They wouldn't have a chance to play Dallas unless it was like the second or even the NFC Championship game, which I don't think that's going to happen. And, of course, they play Minnesota this week, too. Green Bay does. I think they're done.
Yeah, but they're hosting Minnesota and they're also hosting Detroit the next week. They have those are a couple pretty
Listen,
tough
Aaron
games.
Rodgers has done,
Minnesota
But they
has
also
not
need
been-
help though. Cleveland does need to win.
Minnesota's
true.
they
not
do
been
need
playing
help.
good the last 3 weeks.
Listen,
I'll
Aaron
be
Rodgers
honest.
has
They have
done
been pretty
crazy as shit.
That is true. Yeah, Minnesota has been pretty shit, but they're still 12-3, though. We do have to realize they are still 12-3.
And they've pulled off some
and they're-
ridiculous stuff.
by the skin of their
They
teeth.
are 10 or 12-0 in one-score games, completely flipping around from
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the
They did flip that around hardcore.
yeah, I mean they were like 2-14 in one-score games last year.
Right.
They're 10 or 12-0 this year. Please, people out there, stop the Kirk Cousins hate. Thank you.
Hey, Kirk Cousins was on my
No,
fantasy
I'll
team
still
last
hate
year.
on Kirk Cousins. Sorry.
I mean, he's above 500 this year with that previous Sunday night game in primetime this year. So
Yeah.
He was a joke in the NFC East, and he will always remain a joke to any NFC East fan.
One of my favorite takes on Kirk Cousins was one Tyler pitched years ago in terms of like fantasy. Whenever we had a friend of ours, debating on doing a trade that would involve Kirk, whatever, and the way Tyler put it about Kirk is Kirk's either going to get you 35 points or he's going to get you 5 points. It's one of the two. There's hardly any in between.
and also, I mean, he did come back from 33 to nothing.
I mean, they've had some hell of a comebacks, man. They have.
It was against Indy. It doesn't count.
Hey,
Yeah,
There was
that
also the Buffalo one, right?
33 to 0 against any team down and coming back to win that
Yeah.
game.
First off, they shouldn't
the
even
NFL?
have been down by
Exactly.
33
Yeah.
against Indy.
Tyler, how'd that Buffalo game go? Was Vikings trailing that one? I forget. Does anyone remember? Anyone?
That is a good question.
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I think there was.
I want to say Vikings were trailing in that one and they brought it back, didn't they? Because the Vikings did catch that dub, right?
No, Buffalo won that. No, the Vikings did win
No,
that.
the
I want to say,
Vikings did.
yeah, a
33-30,
Vikings
yeah,
won.
They were
33-30.
down.
Because I picked Minnesota, so I was a little.
At
hyped there.
halftime, they were
Okay.
down 24-10.
I mean, I'm telling you, man, I think this Vikings team's a little bit different. I really do. And
I mean,
I think the
I
largest
don't trust them in the long
I think
run.
the largest factor for it, honestly, is just like, he's already been good and he just keeps getting better and better and better. And to me, it's Justin Jefferson. Man.
mean,
that guy's playing
yeah.
lights out.
I'm still sticking with it. I mean, I called this in the beginning of the year during our preseason kind of stuff.
Me and you, we chat about the Vikings a lot.
Yeah,
we really did.
I'm still going for Vikings to be either NFC Championship game or just one game before it. I'm off. I'm here for it. You can put that on the board.
man,
you can go ahead and put that up on the board.
Vikings to NFC Championship
Vikings
game,
NFC
or at least
Championship
second,
game,
yeah,
or at
there you
least
go.
the game before
Hold
it,
on, wait.
which is what the
He's
semifinal.
got second round, divisional round.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You had the Eagles going to the Super Bowl, which I still do not agree with.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Not saying because I'm jealous because they're going to win the NFC East, but I'm just saying.
Are you sure?
I don't
Hey,
see.
there's still a
Eagles. I don't trust
possibility
them.
that we could win the NFC East, man.
That is true, but
Yeah.
let's go by realistically. Let's just go by realistics, my man.
It's gonna be Philly.
It's gonna be Philly. Hey, and that's okay.
Man,
That's okay.
I really don't.
We're-
I don't know. It's not okay. I don't want to play Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Listen, man.
That's so
Listen. Hey,
bad.
listen. He doesn't have the same offensive line. I know that we
It
lost
doesn't
him in week
matter.
one.
It's Tom Brady in
I
the
know.
playoffs.
Listen, man.
I mean,
Listen,
it's either
man,
him or Aaron Rodgers,
Brady-
right? Because Aaron Rodgers is getting in the playoffs.
Tom Brady is one sack away from being in a walker and walking onto the
Oh my
walking onto
God.
the field, the walker, and he'd probably still kick our ass. But anyways, like I said, it's okay, man. Because most likely, dude, we're gonna have to play Tom Brady. It's gonna happen. It's most likely going to happen. We just have to.
And I'm gonna cry yet again because it's gonna be another year of us not making it to a damn NFC
I
championship
agree
game.
with that, but I'm just saying in general, man, we gotta have faith in our Dallas Cowboys, even though we
Every
should.
time I have faith, they rip it away, man.
Even though deep down we should only have one loss this entire season. Let's just be realistic.
Life as a Cowboys
we should
fan.
have that one loss against Philly, and that's it. But Jacob, it's okay, man. I'll cry with you, man.
I'm scared. I am scared.
I'll
I'm
cry
very
with you.
nervous. This is just how it is being a Cowboys fan.
It is, man.
You're
It is.
optimistic, but then again, you're also dreading whatever's going to happen in
So
the future.
Jacob, we haven't been on the air in a couple of weeks, so this is no shit. So 2 weeks ago, I am in our fast start meeting at the FedEx Forum in Memphis, which I will be at against the Sacramento Kings.
Let's go.
I'm just kidding. It's actually Saturday night.
gonna
Anyways,
say
against
that's
New
Sunday
Orleans.
night.
Against New Orleans. Yes, work is sending me to watch the Grizzlies play New Orleans Pelicans.
You
I'm
know,
excited
That's
about it.
unfortunate.
Yo, I feel that vibe because work sent me to go watch an NBA game too. Got
Oh,
a nice
hey,
executive
this-
suite up top
so-
and everything. Bro, that was
So
legit.
I could have gotten the suite, but since I said my kid was coming, he's like, I'm gonna put you down low. So I don't know how down low I'm gonna be, but it's supposed to be pretty down low.
Okay.
So back to my story. So we had our fast start meeting with Pepsi at the FedEx Forum, and we had a guy stand up and said the Cowboys are gonna win the Super Bowl this year. And I'm one of like two other people who clapped the and everyone's like, well, I hate the fucking Dallas Cowboys. I hate the bastards. And I'm like, why do you hate us? We haven't won since '97. We haven't done anything since '97, y'all. Why do you hate us?
You know exactly. You know
But
exactly
the
why-
the
I know
reason why
exactly
is
why.
because Dallas Cowboys fans talk like they have.
Okay.
Yep.
But that's the thing.
It's a staple that every single year Dallas Cowboys fans say Dallas is going to the Super Bowl.
We them boys, all right. We them boys. But listen,
Yeah.
I'm a realistic Dallas Cowboy
One of
fan.
the few.
And Jacob, I'm prepared to cry with you, man, if we had to play Tampa Bay in the first round.
Hey, I'm just glad that y'all are feeling the pain that I've been feeling for 20 years.
That's true.
You're a Buffalo fan. That doesn't count.
It's because of Tom Brady.
Tom
had to
Brady
play him
shackled
twice
that
a year.
division.
Twice a year.
How many times y'all finished last in the division with him?
It doesn't matter because we had to play him.
That's what I'm saying.
3 and like 39 against them, okay?
3 and 30, exactly.
It's quite the record, honestly.
And
Honestly,
and
carry
very
that with
impressive.
a badge of honor.
wasn't
Hey.
it Buffalo who lost 4 Super Bowls in a row?
Hey, that's fine.
Ooh.
Hey, at
I
least
don't
we
even
got
know
there.
how that
Hey,
happens.
at least
I
we
don't
got
either.
there.
Win at least one.
Yeah,
Hey,
2 to
y'all
Dallas,
only got there
all-
twice in them 4 years.
All 4 to
What?
NFC
Y'all only
East.
got there twice. We got there all 4 years.
Hey. We still have more Super Bowls than the Buffalo Bills do.
Hey, that's fine. Not,
What are
not
we
this
ranked right
century.
now? Is it third or fourth? I can't
Not in
remember.
this century, exactly.
You couldn't be eating by yourself when the last time y'all won.
Buffalo still. Hey, that's the thing though. But Buffalo still doesn't have a Super Bowl in this
Hey,
century either. So
it's
yeah.
fine.
They'll get there.
Buffalo
I'm
is
fine
not
with it.
going to win a Super Bowl under Josh Allen. I will put that out there.
Whoa.
Damn.
Oh my
They are-
gosh.
they
it's a
are
good thing we
too
got Matt
small
Barkley
of
in
a
the room.
market. They are too
Matt
small of a
Barkley.
market. It's just like Green Bay. Green Bay got lucky winning that one Super Bowl, but they are too small of a market to go in this day and age, in this style of the NFL, where you see these super teams being made up to go for Super Bowl or bust. Buffalo does not have the money to do that.
Oh,
I'm just
man,
saying,
that's
Buffalo
hurtful,
win.
man.
If Buffalo
Wow.
wins, they're gonna be off the market
Gracious.
because they're gonna set the whole damn place on fire.
That's true.
They can't right now. It's snowing.
Speaking of, did you guys see the
Exactly, they
video?
got to.
Did you guys see the video of the Bills players coming back from their road trip to Chicago
Yup.
and see their cars literally buried in snow? One of the guys ended up just saying "fuck it," where he got enough of his vehicle out, and he's driving away with a mountain of snow
Yeah, I saw
hanging
that.
off both sides of his fucking vehicle. He's like, "All right, we got enough. Let's leave." It's like, oh my! Imagine coming home to that. Like, oh my god.
Freaking blizzard. Goodness
You just got an
gracious.
igloo on top of your car.
Dude, straight up, it wasn't even like the thing that killed me about that video. It wasn't even like a nice collective mountain just on the roof. It was hanging off both sides by like a good foot, and I'm just like, how is it staying there?
Like I remember last year's big snowstorm that we had down here, which was like 1.5 feet or whatever it was, and like the car, I don't have the car that I have now, but the car that I had was a Kia Soul, and it was buried over halfway up to the top, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, my car was buried.
I could not
too.
imagine.
I seen
I
the
could not
video.
imagine having so much.
Yeah,
snow.
that's it.
Oh
That's
my
it.
gosh.
That's it. That's it.
I could not imagine having that much snow to where my car is literally buried and I can't see it.
I just want to know whose car that was.
See, that's what I want to know too.
It
I
has
want
to
know.
be. It has to be an offense lineman.
Oh, it's got to be. You know, an offensive lineman just said, "Fuck it." Just
it's-
like, I'm out here, man.
My guess is Mitch Morse. He's
That's,
probably like,
that's probably a good guess.
fuck it, we're
That's
good.
good enough.
That or
Let's
someone that
ride.
sits, that or someone that sits the bench.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
probably Matt Barkley's car.
Right. Wrapping up NFC playoffs. Who do you think? How we feeling? Let's lock it up. Who's gonna be the teams?
Well,
Because I think the Giants are making it. I think the Giants are making it personally.
Well, I think the Giants are going to make it.
I think their schedule favors them. I do think Washington's going to get knocked out, personally.
Detroit.
I think Detroit's going to get that last spot.
I like the
Mainly
Detroit.
because they play
really
Chicago.
think
That's fair.
that is fair. That is very fair.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Detroit. I pray it's not the Packers though. I can't.
Detroit's got to beat Green Bay next week. That's going to be the real challenge.
Listen,
That's going to be
Actually-
the real challenge.
Actually, I was reading something earlier. I think. Let me look at this.
the odds are against it, but I'm going for Packers getting in the playoffs because
So right now, both teams are 7-8. Detroit wins this week; they're 8-8, and they would. Right now, they win the head-to-head over Green Bay right now. But the winner of that game would probably go.
That's the game.
Unless
if everything goes this weekend.
unless Washington wins.
yeah, if Washington wins, it's over for Green Bay.
Yes, it's over for Green Bay if
Yeah.
Washington and Jacksonville both win somehow, some way. I don't know how that works out, but I have to look. I read something today where if there are two teams that if they win, Green Bay's done, and I know Washington was one of them.
Yeah, Washington is one. Yeah,
Um,
Browns need to beat Washington to keep Packers playoff hopes alive.
And so let me see here. I gotta find that other team real quick. I'll find them.
I feel like out of the teams in contention, the schedule that favors them the most is honestly Seattle. Like, I like this Jets team led by Mike White, but I feel like hosting the Jets and then next week playing the Rams too, which I think is in Seattle. I feel like, the Rams are hot right now with Baker, but I think those two teams, especially with how banged up the Rams are, I feel like that favors Seattle quite a bit. And I feel like they could have the best shot.
if the Packers win out, Washington must lose one game. They must lose once more with two home games remaining, and that's Cleveland and Dallas. So if Washington wins,
Oh, man.
if Washington wins, the Packers end up losing, then it's over with. It says here Seattle and Detroit both have the same 7-8 record. The
Well, you
lines
said
would-
Washington only needs to lose one, right?
And they have
Yes.
Dallas this week.
And they have Cleveland this week. They have Dallas next week.
Okay.
So that could be the scenario.
Okay.
So most likely it's going to look up where it's going to be the winner of the Detroit Green Bay game next week. It's going to be the one that's
Who would have thought we'd be having that conversation?
the Detroit
Green Bay and
Lions,
Detroit.
The Vanderbilt of the NFL has
Love
a chance
it.
to make the playoffs this year.
I love it. That's
Listen,
awesome.
Listen. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that 7 team, because I think that every team above them is going to at least lose one more game. I think that 7 seed is going to be Carolina.
You said New Orleans 5 minutes ago, didn't you?
No, I just said New Orleans was going to beat Philly this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he was more saying he could see New Orleans winning the division.
Carolina, but the Carolina has to win the division, though. That's the only thing. That's the only way they can get in, isn't it?
I think
Do
Carolina
they
has
have
a good chance of
do they
winning both
have
of
a
these last
playoff
games.
run without winning the division? I don't think. No, they don't. So they'd have win the division.
They
beat
hold the
what?
tiebreaker. They do hold the tiebreaker for New Orleans, but New Orleans would have to win out, and they would have to lose out, and so would Tampa Bay. For New Orleans to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only way
Look,
the only way any of those can win is if they win the division. Which
I'll
is
say
very
this: if
doable.
Carolina beats Tampa this weekend, I think it's a very strong shot they're going to the playoffs because I just think the Saints suck.
And that means we
And
could
they
have
play the Saints
that means
next
we could
week.
have a playoff without Tom Brady and without Aaron Rodgers.
What a year!
Thank God.
What a year! What a year!
I guess if it is a year, it'd be this year if the Cowboys fucking go deep.
Now,
No, wait, hold on. We'd play Sam Darnold, who has beaten the Cowboys before because he saw ghosts on the field.
Now, let me ask you guys a playoff question because it's been obviously a very hot topic. Do you think the playoff format should change? Because a lot of people are bitching quite a bit about the idea of Jacksonville or Tampa hosting playoff games.
I'm going to say
I
yes because the fact is if you do have a situation like this now, I understand the format that they're using now.
Makes sense, yeah.
That division winners, it does make sense. But in cases like this, when you have the division winner, a losing record And we're talking about a losing. We're going to most likely they're going to be under 500 before it's said and done. If not one game above, if Tampa Bay wins out. So when you have an 11-4 team who's won right now, Dallas has 4 more wins right now than what Tampa Bay does, and they got to travel to Tampa Bay for a playoff game. I don't think that should happen.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think definitely that needs to change because there's times that I'll like even in Madden I'll go like 10-8 or 10-7, 10-6 or whatever, like a really good record, and then I'll not get into the playoffs because I didn't win my division. But yet somebody who goes 9-8 does. It's like, bro.
Right. And so, and of course,
I
something
do not
else.
think they should change.
Well, and I think the NBA, I want to say the NBA recently changed it to where if you're a division winner, it's based on your record where you're going to spend. You don't have to, because used to, the NBA did the same thing. Yeah. The top 4 division winners, they were the top 4 seeds no matter what. And they don't do that anymore. It's based off your record. And so, I just, I think, I mean, if they do change it, great. If they don't change it, fine. But to me, I think if you have a better record, regardless of who won head-to-head, I think it should be based on your record, not on your division win.
The one common thing I've seen a lot of people throw out there, which makes honestly complete sense to me, is winning the division just clinches you playoffs. That's it. And then seeding is strictly done on record. I think that's fair personally, but I think there's also a lot of incentive to how it is now as well. And me personally, while I do see I see where both make sense, I actually love it how it is now. And it's because I love the chaos. I love the chaos of the 7-9 Seattle Seahawks hosting a playoff game against New Orleans with a much better record and beating the fuck out of them with the Beastquake. I love that chaos. I love and the thing is, while I completely understand people's argument, 100%, 3 times it's ever happened where a team with a losing record made it to the playoffs and hosted a playoff game. Seattle, Carolina, and I want to say Washington.
St. Louis Rams.
Not that, no.
I was like, why are they all the NFC?
I thought it was the St. Louis Rams.
No, it was Carolina. I actually just did homework on this the other day. Now, there's been numerous cases of, worse records hosting a playoff game, but they were at least winning,
St. Louis,
like 9-7.
The Rams were in St. Louis. I could have swore St. Louis went like 6-10 and still won their division or something like that.
Not from the homework I did, because okay. Seattle was the first one, so I just started there and I started working my way forward. Granted, obviously, like I said, there were numerous cases of a 9-7 team winning their division and being the 4 seed when there's like an 11-5 behind them or a 10-6 or whatever. But in terms of losing records, it's only happened 3 times. I think it was 2019, 2014, and 2009.
Carolina, Seattle, and Washington.
Boom. That's only 3 times, so it's just like, while all 3 times have been within like the last 10 plus years, whatever. Like I get the complaints, but I don't know, man. I just love the chaos. I love it. Let's have a losing record team host a playoff game and see what happens. I love the chaos.
It's like it's like the NCAA tournament. We always root for the lower seed teams in the NCAA tournament.
Sometimes.
Always.
I mean, the thing is, like from an entertainment standpoint, it is like what you're saying. It's super fun to watch.
Love
right?
the chaos.
But from a competitive standpoint,
it makes sense though.
It would piss me the fuck off.
Yeah.
That I'm sitting here at 11-5 or whatever it may be, and then I have a team that's 8-9 above me. It's like, bro, like you're obviously not like, come on now.
Hey, at least Tampa Bay has good weather.
True.
I think so. Again, like Alex said, it's a very rare instance. They're going to be adding more weeks into the season within the next few years. Anyways, they're already discussing that. So the likelihood of it happening again gets lower and lower as you add more and more weeks. I do not think they should change it specifically because there needs to be a lot of incentive for winning your division. If Dallas is going to sit here and complain that they're a lower seed because Tampa has a losing record right now and Dallas has a winning record, simple answer: win your division. You don't have to worry about that. Do better. Have a better season.
True.
I mean, but in the high thing though, like Dallas does have a better season than Tampa Bay.
But they have a better season whoever won the division though.
I think Jakub could agree with me on this, and I said it before. Dallas should have 1 loss on their record right now, and true. That's the first time we played Philly. We should not have lost to Tampa. We should not have lost to Jacksonville, which I'm glad Jacksonville has a chance to make the playoffs now. But
as as a Dallas fan, I will go on record saying I'd rather be a lower seed than a higher seed. Because every time we're a higher seed, we get bullheaded.
That is very true.
We're the shit. Just like last year when we were the number one seed. I'm
wish I had
pretty
sunglasses
sure,
right now.
right? Yeah, we were the number one seed last year, and we went in and lost. So I'm good. I'm good on that.
That's my quarterback and my teammate, man.
Also, I have some up here. I forgot about these.
Fuck you, Terrell Owens.
Throwback.
I miss T.O., though. You know what? T.O. should come back. T.O. should come back, man.
Hey, he played well in the fan league.
He did. Yeah,
He's been
FCF,
telling people. He's been telling people that he can be a serviceable wide receiver.
Bro, he
on
is like
third
40.
downs or
He is like
in the red
46
zone.
years old, and this man can still run a 4.4.
Man. Oh, my gosh.
Dude's a freaking nature.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's what, 45? He's going to be 50 before he decides to retire.
Yeah, T.O. is like 45, 46 years old, and this man can still run a 4.4. He is nuts.
Anyway,
Put him on a team. T.O. deserves a spot. Get him in there.
the only other like NFL related thing that I had, which isn't really a huge talking point at this point, in my opinion, because I feel like it's just kind of straight to the point, is just that there are reports that Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler are growing further apart, as we've seen all year.
That's a shocker.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well,
Hey.
this is where I was gonna say this. Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt, but when we were talking about a certain person earlier, my prediction by the end of this offseason, Sean Payton will be the head coach for the Arizona Cardinals.
Whoa, I like that.
I think he'd be a better fit in
after the
Arizona.
I like
abysmal
that.
year they've had this year and not being competitive for a Super Bowl under Cliff Kingsbury, I think they are going to get rid of him.
I disagree. I don't think, honestly, it may be somewhat due with Cliff Kingsbury, but I don't think it's a full-on Cliff Kingsbury issue. I think it's a Kyler Murray issue, and you got to move on. When Kingsbury goes into a study room and you got Murray in the fucking Megatron playing Warzone, that's an issue.
Hey, I think that's one reason why they put that in his contract.
It is.
Because
He plays a lot of Call of Duty.
Everybody's like, oh my gosh, why would you put that in a quarterback's contract? Because he's a dumbass kid. He does dumbass kid things.
There was in the
Likes
Tampa
COD.
Bay Arizona game this past weekend. During the game, the camera panned to Cliff Kingsbury, and the man just looked dead inside. He looked like he was not having.
Yeah, because he
any
knows
fun
he's playing with a
whatsoever.
17-year-old kid as fucking quarterback who much rather be at home drinking Mountain Dew and Rockstar while playing Call of Duty.
Mountain Dew's pretty good.
Hey,
He didn't
fuck
start
the
this
rock
weekend.
star.
It was Trace McSorley.
You know what? You're not worthy enough to drink up that Aquafina that you had over there, sir.
This I don't even like Aquafina. I just have it because it's water.
Hey,
This thing's
watch your
poison.
mouth.
You gotta get
The
this,
nut-
dog. Mountain Valley Spring water.
Aquafina is the #1 selling water in the world, sir.
It's also the worst water for you on the market.
It is pretty
I do
garbage.
think that
Actually, that's actually
if,
Dasani.
Because if okay, quarterback and head coach, first two people to go when it comes to rebuilding. I think if Cliff Kingsbury goes and Sean Payton comes in, Sean Payton's not going to want to play with Kyler Murray at all. Sean Payton is an old school guy. He's not going to like Kyler Murray's work ethic.
He's going to bring in a
whatsoever.
guy like Jimmy G. For sure.
Yep. Somebody like him. Not necessarily saying it's going to be Jimmy G, but I do think that Kyler probably won't be a Cardinal for much longer. If
Drew
Cliff
Brees, what are you
Kingsbury is
doing
the
these
head
days?
coach.
Drew Brees, you want to come to Arizona and win a championship with me, man?
Hey, Drew Brees is busy coaching right now at Purdue.
Drew Brees
Yeah.
he calls up Tony Romo. Hey, you want to come quarterback one more year? Get injured, break
Hey,
your back
look,
probably.
look.
I would hire Tony
As
Romo
much
as
as much as I diss on the Cowboys, I'm all for Tony Romo going to win a Super Bowl. Please get this man a Super Bowl. Bring him on. I don't care.
Same.
This man's
is
a
a
genius.
Jason Garrett wasted him. He wasted
QBR rating top
so
5 all time.
Many people.
QBR rating top 5 all time. Tony Romo.
Tony Romo was honestly a stud quarterback.
He was.
in the
Straight up.
he
He
was
was.
in the season. That's for sure.
Straight up.
You give me any season game, I'm taking Tony Romo. You give me a playoff game, I'm taking anybody else but Tony Romo. That's with all said and love, Tony.
I will say
said
when it
love.
comes to the Cliff Kingsbury thing, one thing that I'm personally proud of is my top 5 head coaches that were going to be fired. at the end of the season. If he's out, we are in my opinion, I'm still saying Lovie Smith's out. That's 4 or 5 that I got right. Because it was Lovie Smith, Matt Rule, Mike McCarthy, Cliff Kingsbury, and Frank Reich. That was my 5. So 4 out of 5, not bad. Hey, let's go. Not bad, not bad.
Hey, it might be 5 out of 5 because I'm still on the boat that Mike McCarthy might be.
It might be. If it's 5 out of 5,
regardless.
I got to continue that trend every year.
So you're saying it's yeah, that's right, because you said it's Super Bowl or bust for Mike McCarthy, correct?
Absolutely. I think if
at the very
we do not
least
win a Super Bowl this year, we are going to either hire our defensive coordinator or our offensive coordinator as the head coach.
I would say
they are both fantastic candidates.
I would say for Mike McCarthy, it's playoff win or bust. That's the line in my mind if I'm Jerry Jones.
Yeah, because we've won playoff games under Mike McCarthy. I mean, just making it to an NFC Championship game would be nice since we haven't done that since the 90s.
Right. That's fair. NFC Championship game or bust is also, I think, a fair argument to throw out there, personally. But no, Sean Payton to Arizona, though, that would be interesting. I would like to see that personally. I'd be here for that.
He wants Vic Fangio as DC. I would love to have Vic Fangio as my defensive coordinator. That man is smart when it comes to defense.
Everyone throwing out there Sean Payton to Denver and stuff, that also pulls up quite a situation, because I don't think Vic's going back to Denver. I don't think that's happened. Has that ever happened? I've been thinking about that. Has like a coach that was a head coach somewhere that got fired because he sucked, did he come back later as a coordinator for that team? I don't know if that's ever happened. I cannot think of a scenario where that happened.
I don't think so, but the thing
maybe
is,
like way back in the day.
I think John Elway is smart enough to know, like, hey, he may not have been doing it as a head coach, but we know he's a good coordinator.
He's not the one handling it, though. It's going to be Penner.
Oh, yeah,
Penner's leading the head coaching search, and whoever the GM is going to be working alongside of it. But, John Elway, I don't know how much hands-on he's going to be in this situation. Penner's really taking the reins on this one.
You're about to see the headline this offseason, Shane. You're about to see it. Denver Broncos hires new head coach, Urban Meyer.
Oh, no. No.
Now you know how I felt. Oh, that was a painful season, man. Jesus Christ. Which still, I mean, man, it just brings all the credit back to Doug Peterson and what that team has been able to do. Because, I mean, like, I understand that they don't have a winning record as of yet, but, like, just to turn around from where you were with where that entire franchise was last year to now, man, it's astonishing. It really is, because of just how bad that franchise was. And in my opinion, dude, it brings up some legitimate chat that Doug Peterson needs to be in there for Coach of the Year. I know it's not, because it's going to automatically go to like conversation of like Sirianni or Kevin O'Connell, like obviously the top winning, franchise teams. Andy Reid will always be in that conversation. Sean McDermott, they'll always be in the conversation. But man, Doug Peterson needs to be in that conversation, man. I don't give a shit if he's got a worse record than Philly or Minnesota. You got to factor in where the fuck they were last year and where they are now, especially if they win the division and go to the playoffs. Put that man in Coach of the Year conversation. Jesus Christ. They have turned that franchise around.
How good of a coach he is and how dumb. Honestly, I think Philly was stupid to let go of him. I think he got.
While they're in a great spot, in my opinion, I agree with you.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of political issues going on at that time too.
Yeah. Well, I love Sirianni, and I think they've got the right guy in Philly. I do agree with you that it's one of those cases that the way I feel about Peterson in Philly is similar to how I personally feel about Lovie in Chicago when we let him go. Because, I understand the logic that Bears fans throw out there for why Lovie got let go, that for 2 years in a row, we did not make the playoffs, even though we were both like 10-6 for 2 years because we lost the Packers both times. I get that, but, bro, like, you're still got winning records. You're still staying competitive. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about Doug Peterson with Philly. And you're right, Ricky. There was a lot of political stuff that went on with that one behind the scenes.
Didn't LaShawn McCoy come out afterwards and was like, hey, like, this shit was going on, bro? Like,
yeah, because, he's on, I Am Athlete, I think. So, he's probably talked about it at length there. I know he's talked about, I think, Who did LaShawn McCoy talk about at length about being an asshole? Was it Eric Bieniemy?
I think it was.
I think he talked about Eric
Yeah.
Bieniemy just being a complete piece of shit in KC, which honestly, LaShawn talking about that brought a lot more like maybe realization for why Eric Bieniemy has still not got a head coaching job. Has still not happened.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with Andy Reid because I think he's been promised the job if Andy Reid when Andy Reid retires. I
Right.
think he's been promised that job.
Oh, okay. Kind of like a Todd Boyle situation,
Yeah.
or what everyone thought was going to happen with Josh McDaniels.
Nah.
Oh man, that's the Vegas stuff. That's a wild one, and the fact that they can't even move on from because they just don't have the fucking money for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I mean, further, gives a lot of proof. Whenever there was that report where NFL sent out to all teams that, hey, just a friendly FYI. All NFL teams combined paying $800 million to head coaches that are no longer coaching. Just saying, do better in your hiring process, people.
Don't be a dumbass, people, because
Yeah.
you'll be in the same situation that Texas A&M is currently in with Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah,
I mean, what's that Ryan guy from the Bills? I'm pretty sure he's still
Rex.
getting. Yeah, I'm
Rex.
sure he's still getting paid from
Rex.
him.
I mean, hey, like legit, like this is the first season that Todd Boyles was not being paid by the Jets. I'm pretty sure this is either his last season of him getting paid by them, or last year was his last season getting paid by the Jets. Because at one time the Jets were paying 3 different coaches. Because they were paying who they have now, they were still paying Adam Gase, and they were still paying Todd Boyles all at the same time.
Well, I don't think it's so much a lot of the teams. I don't think it's so much of bad hiring. I just think it's the fact that they don't give head coaches enough time.
Yeah,
They jumped the
To
gun for
try
no
to turn
reason.
a team around.
Usually, if you don't jump the gun in 2 or 3 seasons, usually you're gone. And unfortunately, Nathaniel Hackett's he didn't even finish an entire season. He's only the second head coach who's ever done that, next to Urban Meyer. But
no,
Urban
there
Meyer's-
was 5.
Was there? Okay.
Yeah, I put it in Discord earlier.
I thought there was only 2. My bad.
Yeah, no, I put it in Discord earlier. The list was NFL coaches not to finish their first season: Nathaniel Hackett, Urban Meyer, good old Bobby Petrino because he dipped out.
I thought he was. Yeah, but he didn't get fired.
He dipped
No,
out.
no,
But
he-
the bottom
he
line is
quit.
He resigned.
He
He
didn't.
quit,
But he didn't finish the first year. That's the thing.
He left at the middle of the night.
I'm talking
He said,
about. I'm
"Fuck
talking
it
about
all."
like getting fired in their first season. I mean, yeah.
Then I think it would just be Urban because the other one. Well, I don't know. I don't know the homework on the other ones where it's like Pete McCulley with the 49ers in '78 and Lou Holtz with the Jets in '76. I don't know. if
Lou
they got
probably
fired.
left.
Lou
Lou
left.
probably
Lou
yeah,
probably
left.
left.
He had to leave.
I don't know about Pete
I
personally.
think Pete left too. Yeah, because I think.
But in terms of fired, you would be right.
I think Urban and Nathaniel are the only 2. Yeah, because I remember. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, Lou left because he went back to college. he's like, oh, screw this, I'm leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Becca, how are you? Hopefully you're having a wonderful night. But when it comes to the firing of Nathaniel Hackett, do you guys think it was warranted? I mean, obviously the team is in a horrible spot, and I understand why they fired him. Where the owner obviously adopted this head coach, even if it is his first year. He adopted him. He didn't get to do the hiring process. While the Broncos suck, they're not like Jacksonville Urban Meyer led suck. So like when I saw the firing, while I've been seeing a lot of conversation about it, I didn't think it was really almost warranted because it's like what Tyler's saying. Give him more time. They jumped the gun.
I don't know. Don't give him more time because they only hired him for Aaron Rodgers.
Now that is true. They were hard trying to
They
get
didn't
Aaron.
get
That
Aaron,
is 100% true.
and then they were stuck with him. So
That is 100% true.
That was yeah. Because I was thinking the same thing, Tyler. But even then, it's like you've got to give them time. And whenever you're going to crappy program, like the next coach they hire, you've got to give them at least 3 or 4 seasons just to even get it going because they're that terrible. That's how bad they are.
Look at Jonesboro with Butch Jones. Okay, they're giving him time, so eventually he's got to figure it out.
He's been there 4 years now.
College is very different though. They give guys time. For
This
the
is
most part.
third year.
He should have already
Like
been
2 and 10, 2 and 10,
There's
3 and 9.
a lot of cases in
He
college
should
where
already been gone.
coaches get time. No, Butch should have been gone.
Yeah,
though.
but should have definitely.
But NFL has such like a very quick window here of like you need to win very fast.
Well, I mean, you also got to see you're paying these players bazillions of freaking dollars. I mean, you're actually looking at legitimate. You're not just paying coaches. You're paying personnel. You're paying everything that comes into play.
I mean,
Whereas
you're
college
paying-
now,
you're
of course,
paying
college is
fucking-
now NIL crap going on. That's totally different, which is outside of basically their actual organization. So it's a totally different situation.
Right.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yes. But like in college, you can actually go out and recruit these best players to come and play for you. With the NFL, it's all about a job. It's all about what contract can I get? And we're also starting to see that a little bit in the college game with this NIL deal, but it's still a little bit different compared to what the NFL is.
I mean, yeah, there was rumors coming out of Arkansas that as soon as the season ended that Lane Kiffin was in KJ's ear was like, hey, I got these NIL deals. Come over to Ole Miss. Come back home to Mississippi.
But that would make sense because he's from Sardis, Mississippi. So that would make sense if he were to do that. But no, he's going to stick with us. Thank God.
Thank God. If he was in an Ole Miss uniform, I would have fucking burnt that entire place down.
Oh my God! Calm down.
I could see it now. Oh, the Arkansas KJ Jefferson jerseys in a dumpster fire, like the LeBron James.
I would have
like LeBron James thing all over again.
No, I would have went to campus and burnt it down.
Whoa,
we can't say that on the air,
man.
We're gonna lose our sponsorships. Damn it!
I don't know, Ricky. You've said some shit on air too, my God.
I have never once threatened to burn shit.
Now that's true, but man, you said some stuff.
Some outlandish shit. Okay,
I said some outlandish. When it comes to the rapist, that's off their game. Okay?
And look, with that one, I actually want you to know, I actually had to cut that one out of the live stream. That one was bad. I had to go cut that one out of the live. If you go back and watch that episode, ladies and gentlemen, you will see a very hard cut shout out to Jakub for knowing that the conversation needed to change, because you will see me say something and Jakub immediately like, so what do you guys think about this?
Damn.
I had to cut that one. That was a bad one.
That's the thing. Though. I understood that one.
Yeah,
I said
you did because you dropped it quick. You started to say how it was a joke, and you're like, I'm gonna shut up now. And then that's when Jakub's like, so what about this?
Listen. At the end of the day, we are not Pat McAfee. We cannot say what the fuck we want
to. We can't say fuck on the fucking.
Demonetized.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, Pat McAfee's great.
Speaking of the Broncos head coaching position, okay. I already said that Sean Payton, I plan on putting him at Arizona. There are 3 people that come out in my mind that could be the Broncos head coach next year. And I'm sad about one of them.
Oh.
The first one is the Eagles offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen, I think his last name is.
Sounds right.
Frank Reich, the old coach from Indianapolis.
Wow. Okay.
And if Dallas doesn't end up hiring him as their head coach, Dan Quinn.
I think Dan Quinn's getting a head coaching job. I just don't know where.
I think it'll be the Broncos.
I mean, he's over 2. He's been fired 2 places, or is it just Atlanta? Just one, Atlanta. And he led Atlanta to a Super Bowl. And you guys got to keep in mind, he chose to come back to Dallas. That was 100% a choice, because Chicago offered him the job because he was the guy that out of the candidates that I was hearing at the time, he was the number one that I wanted. While a lot of Bears fans were like, oh man, we need someone offensive minded. I'm like, I mean, while that'd be cool, it's not a necessity. It's really not. I mean, we've seen a lot of the best coaches in the league not be offensive minded, where they come from the defensive side, or special teams side. Because he was special teams, right? Defense. Okay, because I know John Harbaugh, he was a special teams coordinator, and we saw him what he's done in Baltimore. And in terms of my stance with Dan Quinn, where I think he can be successful anywhere he goes now, is that not only is he a good defensive coach, but the thing is, he doesn't have to be an offensive-minded guy. He fucking knows people. He can get someone in there to be the offensive-minded guy. You know what I mean? He's got the connections.
Well, that's what Barry Odom's doing at UNLV. He's
got Bobby Petrino.
I mean, in a college sense, that makes a whole lot of sense. But even in the NFL, you can be whatever minded coach you want to. You just got to bring in that other guy, that other counterpart that's your yin to your yang, and somehow make it work.
Yeah, you got to have the self-awareness, knowing where you're good and where you're bad at, and bringing in somebody that's good at what you're bad at. Yeah, exactly. Matt Nagy. Anyway. Okay, so I think that kind of covers everything with the NFL. We are pretty deep into the show.
Now, I will say farewell to J.J. Watt, who announced his retirement.
Yeah, also shout out, shout out there.
To him. Goodness gracious.
What a beast.
Unpopular opinion, I do not think he deserves to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Whoa, that is an unpopular opinion.
You're
that's a hot take there.
He just has not played consistently. He's been injured way too much to warrant.
But even then, he's still in the top 10 numbers across the board.
When was the last time he finished an entire season?
I would still make him a first ballot.
I think his numbers with the games he has played is by far like percentage wise higher than most.
I don't think his numbers warrant a first ballot when he's been injured so much and has never won a Super Bowl.
Well, there's gonna
But to be given, he's been on the Texans and the
win.
Cardinals, who's had combined 2 good years.
Hey, the Texans, they were close a couple years. I mean,
they were. Yeah, they've had some moments there though, like seasons 2 and 3 of Deshaun's career. They had a couple of years there, and also even before that, Matt Schaub was a beast for him. Matt Schaub and Andre Johnson, man, Arian Foster, they were rolling.
Yeah, well, we saw how that went.
Yeah.
Turned into a shit show quickly.
Yeah, that tends to happen quick. Do we have anything that we really want to dive into with college, or do we just kind of want to go ahead and get to picks? Because obviously we're in bowl time and everything. We missed a couple weeks, so we're already past the Heisman. Heisman's a fucking joke still, in my opinion.
Facts.
The whole there was a lot of awards where it's like, okay, that's a good one.
media-
It's so shitty.
But
that
Heisman's a fucking joke.
It's so shitty. I don't even want to talk about it.
The media hypes up their player, and they stick with
Fucking Stetson Bennett. Hell
AKA
yeah.
Tim Tebow. And now moving on from that.
We'll have a conversation.
Damn, not even Troy Smith.
I was gonna. I was gonna go
Troy
there.
Smith too, man.
I was gonna go there, but
Hey, during the offseason, we're gonna have that Tim Tebow, Darren McFadden debate. Because
Yeah,
I've got some stats for you guys.
Yeah,
that's going to really sink Tim Tebow.
We got to have a
deep down.
conversation on that one for sure.
I keep seeing the Tua is the Hawaiian version of Tebow, and it's like just pops up everywhere. I'm like, God damn.
it's only
Leave him
because he's
alone.
left-handed.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
I saw an interesting video where the guy, it was a Twitter video, and the guy's just like, so I flipped this video of Tua passing to Tyreek Hill, and it completely changed my opinion on Tua. And if you watched it like where it's reversed, where he's like a right-handed quarterback, he looks like any other star quarterback in the league. Like he looks like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or everything. It's just that he's left-handed; it just automatically throws everyone off. But like the video reversed, man, I'm watching him. Like I watched his actual progression and the motion and everything. I'm like, shit, this guy looks like literally anyone else. It was actually really wild. One thing to, of course, shout out, and I wish we would have done it sooner, and I wish we would have been able to do it when it happened, of course, but we've been on a break for the past couple of weeks. But obviously, massive shout out and T's and P's to the Mike Leach and the family and everything that happened there, and Mississippi State family and everything, because that's that situation developed so damn quick.
Yeah, it
everything
everything was
so
fine,
fast.
and then 72 hours.
Yeah.
He's passed on.
Yeah, so obviously, huge T's and P's there, and I think it honestly warrants a quick moment of silence from ATFS. Moment has passed. Shout out to Mike Leach, absolute freaking legend
and
in
Ronnie
the college game.
Ronnie Hillman.
Yeah, Ronnie Hillman passed away too, man. That was actually really. I liked Ronnie Hillman a lot.
Cancer.
Man.
Also
that was out of nowhere.
Cancer, yeah, at 31, man.
Also
sucks. Fuck
put
cancer.
Mike Leach College Football Hall of Fame only because he didn't finish. He wasn't able to finish this year. He's gonna finish just under the qualification of 70%.
Yeah.
But I think we give him a pass.
Yeah,
Got to.
dude was a legend with his interviews, obviously, and just the way that he played and stuff.
I mean, he himself literally helped change college football to what it is today.
The whole air raid stuff, and it's been really depressing to watch that whole thing play out, and it's been depressing to see the reaction of a lot of former players, including one of my favorites that I'm very vocal about, Gardner Minshew. He was interviewed by local Philly media, and then that was a really touching video that I got to watch. And the thing is, like the video that I personally watched and the video that I've seen a lot of other news sources kind of snippet whatever, they didn't even get the best part of his interview. Naturally, they got a nice part of it where talk where Mike Leach was just a great coach, whatever. But they didn't even get the part where in the middle of the quick little interview, Gardner was getting really choked up because like the one thing that you always appreciate with Mike Leach is that Mike Leach made him believe that he could be somebody. And that's what Mike Leach did for all of his players.
Yep.
So just massive T's and P's there.
And he wasn't a head coach like at anywhere. I mean, he went to like non-upper
Texas
tier.
Tech, Washington State, and Mississippi State.
He wasn't necessarily. He was in the upper tier,
And he made all of them relevant.
And he did. And all three of them, for my if I read it correctly, I think all three of them were number one in the country at one point
In passing yards.
And passing yards.
Like Gardner Minshew has said on record years ago, like that was Mike Leach's pitch to get him to transfer to Washington State for his senior year. Like, do you want to lead the nation in passing yards? And Gardner's like, yeah, sure. we saw what happened. He led the year.
The one
season.
thing we started seeing Mississippi State this year, he started running the ball a little bit more this year.
Yeah.
So it's just sad. Hard, party one, just a little get together, Christmas party, a heart attack the next day. It was just, it's just sad.
Unfortunate.
Yep.
Anyway, did we have any college stuff we want to chat about, or did we want to get into predictions? We are pretty late in the show. We got a couple people here.
We'll just go to predictions.
Yeah, we got a couple people here that's got to drive. So.
Jerry Kill finally got a win.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it had to be against a Maction team, but fuck Bowling Green.
Do you see Bowling Green winning anything?
Goodness gracious. Temple, Rutgers, and Bowling Green now, man.
Bro, you can't be Bowling Green and no
almost won
green
that
in
game.
your name. Like, you just got the names.
That is a missed opportunity on Bowling Green's part. I'm not going to lie.
They should look like Ohio Bobcats and just all green. Like, why are you Dookie Brown in gold?
Orange.
Orange. That's good. They're orange. It looked like gold on the TV.
Dookie Brown and gold is your second favorite college team.
Oh, goodness gracious, Lord have mercy.
Until 3 days from now.
I have never heard anybody
We're
say,
going
I
Ohio
absolutely
Bobcats
hate
all the way.
Temple.
Ohio Bobcats all the way
absolutely
out.
hate
Maction over
Rutgers.
everybody.
And I absolutely hate Bowling Green. Like, three of the, like, come on. They're not even relevant.
They're the Falcons.
I don't care
They
what
are.
they
Can't
are.
like
I
the
mean, they are
Falcons.
relevant. They made it to a bowl game.
So
They
did
made it-
Arkansas.
Lost to New
6-6.
Mexico State.
Which is impressive to actually make a bowl
Anyway,
game because
hey,
they're one of the worst teams.
Let's get to prediction stuff. Before I forget this, I didn't shout it out earlier because we were very, very deep in NFL chat. And I don't think he's here in the chat anymore. But Chad did ask earlier what was the bet, Ohio man. So did you guys? Whenever he was on the show, it was like a friendly wager is what you guys are going to do. Do you have a? I'll reach out to him, or I'll have Tyler reach out to him or something. But
I got you right now.
oh, Tyler's got us.
Live
Tyler's
and-
going our head.
So what's the bet going to be for Ohio State, Georgia? Any clue?
Man,
Loser has
I
to
hate
chew
to
a dog
say it,
bone.
but I am willing to buy a Bulldog jersey and wear it.
Jeez.
Wow.
son.
Okay. All right. Is Chad willing to do the same thing? We're going to need a picture in the Discord.
And it's got to be a Justin Fields jersey.
Now I gotta find this one.
Yeah, Tyler, just in case you didn't listen
Well-
a few weeks back, the bet is if Detroit makes the playoffs and wins the first round game, I've got to wear a Troy Smith jersey next year.
Yeah. That's still alive too, baby.
It is
That's
still alive,
which is
It
awesome.
is still alive. It is still
Anyway,
alive.
we'll get an answer from Chad, whether if it's in the Discord or via Tyler. We'll figure out an answer on that. But that bet still be alive. All right, let's get into some predictions. Where do we want to start on things? Do we want to start with the bowl games, or do we want to do NFL?
Let's start with the bowl games. We'll
Okay.
end with the NFL.
Let me hit some music here. Get a little bit of a vibe going for us. So our ATFS Bowl Mania, which also, since we've been off the last couple weeks, didn't get to shout this out with the Run Your Pool. That one has come to a close. They did not have bowl games on there, so the final standings is Ricky did come out on top with 180, 119, Jakub at 173, 127, Shane at 167 and 132, me at 166, 133, and then it just continues to kind of go down from there. We'll figure out a prize for you on that one. And then for the Bowl Mania, currently Ricky and Tyler are tied at the top at 13-7, Jakub and Steve 11-9, and then we have my friend Davin, Brady, and myself at 10-10, and Shane 8-12.
That's where Shane is usually at the bottom.
Oh,
Actually, I'm in the top 3, if not winning, in every single thing except for Bowl Mania. So,
fuck you.
That's safe to say that's getting omitted from the show.
No, that's staying. That's staying. We love some trash talk. All right, let me get down here to where the picks are still. Okay, I finally made it here. All right, first up, that one's locked in, so never mind. I guess that game is happening right now.
Which
is
one?
Talking about the Carolinas.
Yeah,
No.
East Carolina currently leads 24-14.
All right, so that one's locked in. I had Coastal Carolina.
I
That's who
had ECU
Yeah.
winning that game.
So
I
we'll
had
start
East
with
Carolina.
the Guaranteed Rate Bowl then. We'll start with that one. That one's playing later, so we'll start there. Wisconsin and Oklahoma State. Give me Oklahoma State in this one.
yeah, Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Oklahoma State has struggled, but Wisconsin, they're just too for me. So
They're
I
in a
Oklahoma State.
transition period. So.
Even though Wisconsin's a 4.5-point favorite, though. So, but I'm still going to take Oklahoma State.
Wisconsin's quarterback is transferring to Florida, so for that reason, Wisconsin.
Fuck off. All right, Military Bowl. We have
Killing me,
UCF and Duke. Give me the Golden Knights, baby.
I'm rooting for Duke to win because I hate Gus Malzahn. But yeah, UCF's gonna win this game. I can't stand Gus Malzahn, y'all. I can't stand him. It's like Ryan Day then Gus Malzahn, like right there.
Oh my God.
And it may just be Gus Malzahn a little bit more.
I think it's Gus. You're more vocal about Gus. You're overall vocal
That is very
about
true.
Ohio State in general.
That's very true.
But you're very vocal
Dude,
on
if
Gus.
Gus Malzahn went to Ohio State, man, that would make me hate him even more.
Ooh, can we make
Let's
that happen,
do that.
Jacob? Can we make
Let's
that happen?
do that. That's
The
what's gonna
ultimate
happen,
hate.
people.
I'll call up. I'll get a conference call with Ryan Day and Gus.
All right,
Malzahn,
bet,
see what
bet,
I can
bet.
pull off.
All right, but yeah, UCF and Duke. Who we got here?
I got UCF.
UCF.
Give me the Blue Devils.
Fuck Duke.
Right on. UCF. Let's get it.
Fuck Gus Malzahn though.
All right, Liberty Bowl, Kansas and Arkansas.
Kansas wins. Move on.
Kansas. I got Kansas.
I'm going Arkansas.
I know you
won't
are.
fault on it. Sorry.
As much as I hate to say this, but
Kansas wins. Move on. We're not talking
Kansas
anymore.
is not going to win this game.
But say you
They're
can't,
not that good.
But say you can't say
Neither
shit.
is Arkansas.
But
Okay,
say,
but they're
Arkansas
not.
is
They're not that
either,
good.
man. Come on
Kansas
now.
still doesn't have their top
I was
quarterback.
gonna
Is the
say,
problem.
So
he,
Arkansas.
he
I
can't
guess.
say shit for what happened last year.
Hey, I don't care if they have their third string quarterback. Did you see what Liberty did to
That's
us, man?
fair. Well, Liberty is a good team.
No, they're not.
Me and Jacob were trying to tell you that.
No, they're not.
Yeah, we've been trying to tell you that.
They
all
lost
season.
every game after that. Every one of them.
That's because their coach was ready to leave, man.
No, it's because they sucked.
Hey, all he had to do was beat Arkansas. And he had a job in the SEC.
He was going to have the job in the SEC anyways.
Also-
It's
so
Hugh Freeze.
So beating Arkansas is just a plus, you know.
Also, shout out to the fact that both Arkansas fans in here didn't decide to like follow up on the fact that I brought back the old joke that Kansas player said, where I said Arkansas.
I know,
instead
I
of-
saw it, and that was
You were
also-
leaving it alone.
Yeah,
I-
okay.
it's okay.
I just
That's okay.
here to. I just don't hear this shit.
All right.
And
Holiday
He's just here
Bowl.
so he doesn't get fined.
Holiday Bowl, North Carolina and Oregon. Give me the Ducks.
Yeah, give me quack, 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 quack.
You give me Bo Nix and the Ducks.
And Bo Nix.
Bo Nix has
returning
played
next-
well this
and
year,
he's,
man.
And he's returning next year, so Oregon could be a pretty good threat at the back.
They really could, man. They could make some noise
Give
over in
me-
the pack.
The rightful Heisman Trophy winner this year, the guy who should have won it this year.
Bo
give me
Nix.
Bo Nix.
What? What? Timeout. What?
Yeah, I love how he said
You know-
timeout and
you-
music happened to
Hold on,
end.
You knew that. You knew that weeks ago. I said that Bo,
Bo Nix,
should have
Heisman.
been.
You're
Listen,
out of your
his
mind,
We
my
did
friend.
go over this a few
His-
weeks. I brought up all the Pac-12 quarterback stats.
I absolutely love you,
His
my friend, but
stats-
that is
his
the
stats were
way
better.
Oh,
His
my
stats were
goodness
way better
gracious.
than Marcus Mariota was when he won the Heisman.
But there's better quarterbacks right now in the league, better than Marcus Mariota, and the game has totally changed since Marcus Mariota played.
Listen,
The rules
I
are
don't think there's
different.
Very many all-around overall.
Listen, I typically
Team
don't.
leaders
I typically don't
than Bo
agree
Nix.
with Jacob, but honestly, over Caleb Williams, I'll take anybody.
Now over Caleb
Including Bo
Williams,
Nix.
yes, but he shouldn't. No, Bo Nix should not have won the Heisman. Come on,
He should have been a
people.
Heisman candidate.
Yeah,
Honestly-
I will say that.
honestly-
Yes, I will agree with that, but I wouldn't put him as a Heisman
Honestly,
winner.
due to tape, regardless if you're injured, it should have been Hendon Hooker.
It should have been Hendon.
have been Hendon.
I'm sticking with this.
Should have been Hendon.
Fuck that injury rule. That is bullshit
Yep.
when you have enough tape on the field to go with. That is
Best
bullshit.
Best QBR rating in the last 2 years.
I would have put
him.
Hendon in one, Bo two.
Like in terms of going to the show, Max, Hendon, Bo Nix, and I would probably say CJ would be the guys that I say should have
Yeah,
been at the show.
I don't even think Caleb should have been even invited, let alone win it. It's a joke.
Anyway, did we all get our picks for Holiday Bowl?
Fuck the ACC.
Fuck, man. What the hell's your problem? Whatever.
Clemson.
You
Clemson.
sound- it's
All
like
right, you know
Cartman
what?
off of
Fair.
It's like Cartman off
Clemson
of
gives us a
South.
bad name.
You're about to be Cartman off of South Park. Fuck, fuckity, fuck.
All right, and then of course you're going Oregon. We already know that one. Texas Bowl, Texas Tech and Ole Miss.
Texas Tech.
I'm taking Ole Miss.
Give me the Rebels.
I went with Ole Miss in my initial pick.
I
still
went with,
feeling it.
I went with Ole Miss in my initial pick, too.
I chose every SEC team but two, Missouri and Ole Miss. And
Damn, son.
Ricky's breaking shit.
I didn't break anything.
His mic came undone.
The mic came under. Oh, goodness.
The mic stand came oh, you just have to kind of like,
You have to put it back on there and twist the bottom of it.
yeah, you just have
Damn
to
it, boy.
kind of put it back on, twist the bottom.
Oh,
Use a
you
little
know,
bit of
bro,
grease,
bro
use a
shit.
little bit of elbow grease.
I'm gonna go to sniper shot for this. Look at this. Look what he's
I
doing.
did not break anything. Guys, it slipped off.
I'm glad I went to sniper. I wanna show this to fucking Zach. And I want to show him this is what happens when you constantly make that thing loosey fucking goosey the way that he does.
Yep.
Because he's like, I want to be able to move it and stuff like that, but you never move it anyway. It's like, why do you got to do this?
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case. Anyway.
It's all Zach's fault. Zach broke it.
You know what? I'm just going to hold it like this.
That's
Bum, bum,
fine.
bum, bum, bum.
Well, you have a
Right
you have
there,
a piece.
Elvis.
You have a piece.
Yeah,
behind-
just hold it.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah, just hold it. We'll
Go
figure
Memphis.
it out. Ole Miss for me. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it locked in. Pinstripe Bowl, Syracuse and Minnesota. I went with Syracuse.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Give me the Golden Gophers.
I didn't go Syracuse.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you said fuck the ACC a while ago. That
Hey,
means
but I
fuck
love
the ACC.
Syracuse basketball.
You do, yeah.
I do like Syracuse
So-
basketball. The 2-3 zone, man. You just can't,
Hey,
that's just the thing.
they home.
And they're
Solid.
underdogs. I got Minnesota.
I got Minnesota.
Let's see. Cheez-It Bowl, Oklahoma and Florida. Fuck Florida State.
Oklahoma moving on.
What a damn matchup,
Give me Florida State, baby.
So this should not even be a game. Florida State got screwed. I'm sorry, people. They got screwed in this bowl game.
Facts.
You've got to play a legitimate contender, and you've got to play Oklahoma. Give me Florida State by 30.
though. Only 30?
30.
Like the first half or something?
30.
Boy, they're going to beat them by 60. Come on now.
30.
Fuck Florida State's gonna win, but I really want OU to win it.
Yeah, I'm going OU.
It's the last game of the year.
Am I
There ain't
the
no
only
reason
one
for
that
fuck
can
Florida State.
think the hate?
Listen, this is the beauty of being last right now. I can just fucking call it how
Yeah,
I
you
want
can
it.
just do whatever. Next up, Alamo Bowl. We have Texas and Washington. Give me Washington.
Can't tell.
Who's it again? I'm sorry.
Texas and Washington. Give me Washington.
Fuck Texas.
Give me the Huskies.
Fuck Washington. They got into the playoffs instead of us, so
You
Go
know,
Texas.
and also real quick, I do want to talk about this real briefly. What about this quarterback battle is going to come on with Texas next year with Quinn Ayers and Manning?
it's easily Quinn's.
Yeah, it's gonna be Quinn in my opinion.
Yep.
So
You
I'm
pay
just
him
going to
too
throw
much
this
not to
out
give 'em to
there.
him.
I've got Texas.
Okay.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
Yeah, this
He's
this-
enjoying like holding the
grab
mic for whatever reason.
Hey Elvis, you got a piece behind your left foot over there.
It's all right. We'll
It's
fix
okay,
it.
baby. I'll get it
We're
in a
almost
minute.
done with the show. We'll fix it. Duke's Mayo Bowl, and both coaches have confirmed that they will be happily getting
Oh,
Duke
God dang it.
That
with
is the
Mayo.
stupidest thing I ever heard in my
I
entire
love
life.
it. Maryland and NC State. Give me NC State.
I'm going to pick Maryland. Maryland. I
I'm
got
going-
Maryland.
I'm
Actually,
going-
you know, I'm gonna swing it. Let's
I'm
go with
going-
Maryland and to his brother. Let's
That's
do
it.
that.
I'm going Maryland.
Fuck Maryland, but let's go Maryland.
Oh my God!
Because NC State ain't got the quarterback.
all right. Sun Bowl. We have Pittsburgh and UCLA. Give me UCLA.
Yeah,
Fuck Pittsburgh.
UCLA.
Yep.
Yeah.
UCLA easy.
Gator Bowl. Notre Dame. South Carolina. Give me South Carolina.
Give me
I-
the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, I really like South Carolina in this matchup, but I don't like Spencer Rattler against Notre Dame's defense. Notre Dame's really improved their defense. Give me Notre Dame.
Arizona Bowl.
Why you looking at me?
Ohio and Wyoming.
Give me Ohio. Wyoming's done.
Give me the Bobcats.
Give me the Bobcats, man.
Yeah, man.
You-
My
listen,
pick
man,
will
listen.
be dependent on Tyler. Tyler, who's winning this game?
I'm gonna give you some inside source.
Oh, for the love of
Wyoming's running
Jesus.
back Titus Swim, stud,
Okay.
transferring. Ohio Bobcats easy.
All
Oh,
right, I guess I'll go Ohio
goodness.
then. All right, Orange Bowl, Tennessee and Clemson.
Tennessee.
Clemson's been overrated all year long.
Yep.
When's the last time? Did Dabo Swinney lose 3 games last year?
Yes.
9-3 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And so I know Tennessee's playing with the backup quarterback, but I still think Tennessee's the better team. Give me Tennessee. It's going to be a close one, though. Give me Tennessee.
DJ's playing in this, right?
I don't think so.
No, he's not.
No, DJ? No.
Nah, he's already in.
Yeah, he's
Oregon.
already in Oregon State.
I didn't know if he was finishing the season.
Kate,
Give me Tennessee.
Kate's solid though.
Yeah, Cade's fine. But I'm going to go with Tennessee, though.
Fuck the ACC, but let's go Clemson.
All right, Sugar Bowl, Alabama and Kansas State.
Alabama.
I've got Bama as well.
Bama.
I
Give
think,
me
I
the
think
Wildcats,
I
baby.
love that pick, though.
so. Here's
Alabama's on a
an
fucking
interest-
roll.
Here's an interesting thing about Alabama. They're one of a handful of teams who had no opt-outs. Bryce
Yep.
Young's going to go out on top.
Yep.
Yeah,
Bama
but they
go-
also have they're
Bama
one of the
roll
teams
by
with
21
the top
plus.
most transfer players.
Bama roll by
transferring out
21
after
plus.
the
They,
season.
they still have a good recruiting
Bama
class
roll by
coming in.
21
They
plus.
don't need it.
You can't lose to Tulane and beat Bama. Come on now.
All right, next up, Music City Bowl, Iowa and Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Give me Kentucky.
The Iowa.
I absolutely hate this because both their teams just rely on their defense and their low scoring. Is Will Levis playing?
Yeah.
No, I don't
Is
think
he
he
not?
is. I don't think he is.
Oh,
No.
I may change my pick then.
Give me Iowa. If Will Levis isn't playing, give me Iowa.
Give me
Hey.
Iowa as well.
For the first time, Iowa's going to actually have a solid quarterback next year. It
That
just
is
sucks that
very
they're not
true.
going to have him this year.
That's
Yep.
very
So
true.
for a game that's going to finish 5-3, let's go Kentucky.
Dude, and I picked South Dakota State to win that game. I was so pissed because they didn't play. They were so scared. You could tell they were shaking. Quarterback, should I throw the ball?
All right, we'll come back to the college football playoffs. So next up, the Rilla Quest Bowl. We have Mississippi State and Illinois. Man, give me Mississippi State. They're going to make this happen. for Mike Leach.
They're going to do it
Mississippi
for Mike
State.
Leach. Yeah, give me
They're going to
Mike,
make
yep.
this happen.
Oh, yeah.
I
Bert,
Don't do it.
hate to do it.
Don't
I
do it.
really, really do.
Don't
I
do it.
really,
Don't
really,
do it.
really
So-
do
so
because
Jacob,
I want
you're-
Mississippi State to win so
Don't
bad.
do it. Don't do it. Don't do
And
it.
I did this pick before anything with Mike Leach's
That's
death
fair.
happened. Give me the Fighting Illini.
So
Oh,
that's
man.
respectable, but Illinois has slipped quite a bit, and Brett Bielema teams do the same exact thing that he always does. So that's why I picked Mississippi State.
they don't have their defense coordinator because he has a new job. So Mississippi State by 90.
Cotton Bowl, Tulane and USC.
Not the I love it.
Tulane.
Give me Tulane.
You know,
I would love to see Tulane win this
I
game. But I think it's going to
absolutely
be
hate.
USC.
I absolutely hate USC. I don't think they're going to lose to Tulane though.
I
I hope
want
Tu-
Tulane to win so bad.
I hope Tulane wins by 30.
Is Caleb Williams playing?
No.
If Caleb Williams is not playing, then I'll take Tulane too.
Wait, is he not?
No.
If he's not playing,
Wait,
yeah,
is he going?
Tulane's
Is
gonna
he
win this
entering the
fucking
draft,
game.
or is he just not playing?
I don't think he's playing. I don't think he's eligible for the draft.
Hang on.
Yeah, he's a sophomore redshirt. He's eligible.
I've heard no news about Caleb Williams in the draft, like at all. Everyone's talking Bryce Young, Will Levis, C.J. Stroud as top
Just kidding.
draft.
He will play.
Okay, give me
He,
USC.
Yep,
was
give
hurt
me
there
USC.
for it. He was
Give me-
hurt.
yep.
I'm still taking Tulane.
Yeah, me
I
too.
like it.
Citrus
I like
Bowl, LSU and Purdue. Give me LSU.
It. Yeah, LSU easily.
LSU.
Purdue has no chance to win
Give
this
me
game.
Purdue.
Oh my god! Didn't you pick Purdue? Oh no, wait. You did pick Purdue to beat Michigan, then you changed it. So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that much. too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He
They
lied
won't-
on air.
Did everyone get our picks in for that
Is
one?
that for what?
Nothing but a hound
What
dog.
game? What game?
LSU, Purdue.
LSU for Purdue.
Okay.
Oh
Rose Bowl, Penn State.
Okay, so I lost
Utah.
my game, so I'm just gonna wing it from now on. So,
Penn State, Utah.
Penn State.
let's go with the team that plays in Utah. Utah Utes.
Yeah, I'm going Utah
He's
too.
got Utah beating his team.
Reverse psychology here
I'm going Utah.
Both,
because it's a Rose Bowl game.
both of
Last
these,
time we lost 52-49
Both-
against USC.
both,
So
both of these teams
Fuck 'em.
actually reflect each other quite a bit, which actually is going to make it very interesting because these two are the only two of like a few teams that actually do anything with the pro style offense at all. But I like the Utes. Give me the Utes.
Give me the Utes as well.
Listen, let me tell you guys.
Tell us.
Let me tell you guys this.
Tell us.
Utah sucks in bowl games. They absolutely suck ass in bowl games.
So does Penn State. We just Tyler just reminded you
Hey.
that the last time they were in the Rose Bowl, that Penn State did lose.
And they got blown out last year too.
And
The
they did
last
win
time
year.
Utah was in the Rose Bowl, they lost as well.
That's
well,
true. But who
well
did they
we
lose
have
to?
Sean Clifford still, so we only have one
that
for
don't
one more
matter.
game. One more game, and then it's the Drew Lar show. Okay.
I'm taking Penn State on this one by at least 21.
Whoa!
At least 21. That means you got to score 21. I like it. I like it. I like it. Let's
All
go.
right, all right. Fiesta Bowl, college football playoff semifinal. TCU and Michigan.
Michigan.
TCU.
Michigan.
Whoa!
I got
y'all,
Michigan.
I like the TCU pick.
I like the
don't get me wrong,
TCU
but
pick too, but I got
Listen,
Michigan.
Michigan- so listen.
Like, oh, go ahead.
Michigan has what TCU does not. One hellacious of a defensive line. They are second in the country in stopping the run. I can't remember what they ranked in passing off the top of my head.
It
but I just
doesn't
know they were-
matter.
I just know
Max
they were
Dugan
second.
gonna be slinging
Max
that thing.
Dugan is not going to be able to sling it as much as you think he's going to be able to. Michigan's going to win this game by
All
at
right.
least 17.
All right, when Max Dugan throws for 303 touchdowns, you're gonna buy me lunch.
So I'll take that bet. If TCU wins the game, I'll buy you lunch.
Bet.
I would love to pick TCU here, but I do think Michigan is just going to overwhelm them on both offense and defense.
Yes, sir.
Got him. Blake Corum. Let's go.
All right. And lastly, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Ohio State and Georgia.
Bulldogs.
Fuck you, Shane. Why were you so quick on that answer?
So,
Because I'm going with what I want, and because I'm at the bottom, I don't have to think about it.
that is very true. That is very, very true. So at the very beginning of the season, I said Ohio State was going to win the national championship. And I'm still going to stick with that, even though I don't trust Ryan Day for anything whatsoever.
Oh, you need me to set back up? I'm sorry.
But we have not had a back-to-back winning championship team in a while in the college football period. I'm taking Ohio State to beat Georgia on a last-second field goal.
Tyler?
I want to pick Ohio State so bad just to talk shit to Chad. But
Do it.
I have to keep my number 1 seed. So, Georgia.
That says that tells you who he fully believes is going to win.
I still win overall. It doesn't matter. I still win overall.
Jacob, I rode with you all year. I'm gonna keep riding with you, man. OH. Let's
baby.
get it. I rode with you all year long. Let's go. Ohio State's gonna catch this dub. Hopefully.
I 100% think that it's going to be
Hopefully.
the game rematch.
That'd be
in the
awesome.
College football national championship for the first time in all of college football history.
And I will go ahead and say this much. You will have more viewers than what they already had in their first matchup. You will have more viewers in the history of a national championship game if you have Ohio State and Michigan.
I will say that will probably be the most viewed national championship ever
Yeah.
if that happens.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Alex. I keep adjusting on you. I'm so sorry, man.
No, that's me.
It is?
Yeah. I was trying to fix something. That's me. Yours doesn't track. These track. I actually want to get one of these for over there. I just haven't got around to it. These are much more expensive. All right, let's hop to NFL. Let's try to blitz through this so we can wrap up the show so we can get a couple of these guys on the road. So first place, Jacob, 152.98, and after that, the next highest would be 137.103. So we got some climbing to do. Let's get into the picks. Thursday night, we got Dallas and Tennessee. Give me Dallas.
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 Hell yeah. Dallas, baby.
Okay, I was about to say, that was a delay.
That was a long pause, my friend.
All right.
And here you are, begging for them to win. You got to pick
I was
them.
just loving the fact that everybody was just lightning fast on Dallas, man. That was
Wait,
fucking
he says
great.
speed it up.
Yep.
That is true. That is
All
true.
right,
Okay,
Miami and New England. Give me Miami.
New England.
Give me New England. I want to see some chaos.
Yeah, New England.
Yeah, give me Miami.
Cleveland and Washington. I'm really torn on this one.
Cleveland. I want chaos. Bring it on.
Chaos of Green Bay, yeah.
Give me the Commanders.
Yeah, I'll take that football team in Washington.
Give me Washington. But I want the chaos with you. I want it so
I'm going
bad.
Cleveland.
But I'm going for the poll right
I'm
now.
going for Packers to be in the playoffs.
Their logo's still a football team on Run Your Pools.
I see that, yeah. I see that. Yeah, give me Washington. Did everyone answer? Did I miss anyone?
No.
All right,
Nope.
Arizona and Atlanta. Couple shit.
Atlanta.
squads.
Let's go with
give me
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Give me
Let's go with
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Give me Arizona.
That's fair.
Is
That's
Trey
fair.
starting? If
Yes.
Trace is,
Actually,
fuck it,
wait, hold
Arizona.
on. Give me Arizona. They're going to try to send JJ off with a couple of wins.
Yeah, and they still don't have Kyle Pitts back for Atlanta. Yeah, I'll take Arizona.
Did you answer?
Yeah, I said Atlanta.
Okay. Jacksonville and
Desmond
Houston.
Ritter's
You know
been
who
rough.
it's about. It's all about Duval County.
Don't sleep on Houston. They won last week. They played very close against Kansas City and the Cowboys. The only difference is they went to overtime with Kansas City. Give me Jacksonville.
Give me Jacksonville.
Give me Long Nick.
I hate you.
For the dub.
I knew it was happening, though. I already
I'm
knew.
going to have to agree. Give me the Houston Texans.
Okay.
Please,
Indian Giants. Giants.
Giants.
Easy.
You know,
Yep.
Yeah, Giants.
is it crazy that the Giants could be a sleeper in the playoffs?
No. I mean,
Hey,
we
hey,
said back mid-season that this team reminded us of the fucking Eli team.
It really does.
Yep, exactly.
And Eli was right out of 500 quarterback, and people were like, "Oh, he's a Hall of Famer." No, he's not. The Giants gonna win this game.
Next up, Denver and KC. Give me KC.
KC all the way.
It's
Can we
not
just
even-
skip this?
Yeah, just KC. Everyone lock in KC.
Denver.
Of course.
You're just doing it.
Hey, my picks don't matter.
Yeah,
Just
you're just
fucking
here. All right, Carolina and Tampa. Give me Tampa.
Give me Tampa.
Give me Carolina.
I'm taking Carolina as well.
Fuck Tom Brady, but Tampa.
Chicago and Detroit. Give me the Lions.
Yep, Detroit. Chicago's trying to get that first pick.
Yeah, give me Detroit.
Just because of that, Chicago. Because when you're supposed to
kinda wanna
lose,
pick-
you're gonna win.
I mean,
kinda
I've only
wanna pick
gotten
Chicago.
I've only gotten 3 games correct all year
Yeah,
long.
which one? You said Lions, right?
I said Lions.
Okay, I'm going Chicago then.
Only 3 all year long that
Hey,
I've gotten
that's
right.
as many as they've gotten. So
Which was, I think, the Dolphins game, last week's game, and I don't remember what the third one was. But I've only gotten 3 games correctly.
I mean,
predicted
I'm like
win or
6-0 when people say I'm bad against my team and I pick the other team. So
lose. Yeah. All right, next up, New Orleans and Philly.
Don't go breaking
Philly.
my heart.
Philly easy.
Yeah, Philly.
This could be upset, but I'm going Philly.
San Fran and Vegas. San Fran.
San Fran.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy for MVP.
Where's it at?
No.
It's
what the fuck?
it's at Vegas.
Give me Vegas.
Spicy.
I'm going to take the upset this week.
Spicy.
I'm going to take the upset this week.
Party lardy.
Purdy's played 2 great games.
It's gonna be a Purdy party in Vegas.
Jets in Seattle. Give me Mike White.
Give me Seattle.
Yeah, give me Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah, that 12th man is about to make some noise.
Minnesota, Green Bay. Give me Minnesota.
Yep.
Oh, this is contradicting. Give me Green Bay.
Yeah,
Fuck
you
it.
need Green
give me
Bay
the,
here.
give me
sending
the
it.
Vikings, baby. I like that Aaron Rodgers dude, but yeah, give me the Vikings.
Give me the Packers.
With
Vikings.
the Vikings.
Yeah.
Rams and Chargers. Give me the Chargers.
Give me the Rams. I like Baker. Let's go.
You know, I like that Baker Mayfield and myself, man. He was baking up there in the Browns, and it just turned into a big old shit pile. So, who are they playing?
They're playing.
It's the Los Angeles
Yeah, it's the
teams.
Los
Come on now.
Angeles game. The LA Bowl.
Ricky's completely lost it.
I'll take the Chargers just
I'll
because.
take Los Angeles.
Okay, fair enough. He's not
I was-
wrong,
if I was the-
technically.
If I was the Chargers right now, though, and I've already clinched the playoff spot, I would sit my players. I would sit as many players as you possibly can.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, they've already clinched.
Give me the
it.
Rams.
I'm with you.
Ricky's crying. All right, next up, Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Give me Pittsburgh.
I like me some old Mike Tomlin there making the playoffs there. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers,
Yeah, give me the Steelers.
even though I fucking hate US Steel. I used to work for them bastards.
Give me Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
All right, Buffalo and Cincy.
Cincy.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
me
Cincinnati.
Cincy.
Yeah, Cincinnati.
Tyler, which way should I go?
Seeing as we locked the AFC East for like the 8th straight year after Tom Brady left. Buffalo.
Give me Buffalo then.
He's
We're
only
right
been
with
gone
it.
like 4 years.
I know. Yeah, it feels,
Don't use
it feels so-
logic.
hey, it feels so
Don't
much
use
longer.
logic.
I'm enjoying these years.
I guess
okay?
he's counting dog years. I guess
Yeah.
is what
Hey,
it is.
yeah.
I'm counting the games we ain't got to play against Tom Brady.
All right. Well, that was everything that we had for today's show. Boys, any last thoughts on anything? I want to get a couple of you guys on the road.
You
I
know,
got
Shane
slim
actually
chickens on the
made
mind.
this. I'd say Shane actually got this on the top. Every time we add someone, it adds on 30 minutes.
Yep, I told you every single fucking
262,
time.
217 right now.
Oh goodness, what a night,
Usually with
boys.
4 people, we're about 2 hours.
Oh, what a
At a
night.
fifth, we're about 2.5. So
Yeah.
you know,
So, any last thoughts on anything, boys? Anything you want to throw out there?
I'm ready for my slim chickens.
All right. Slim chickens. Tyler, any last thoughts?
I don't want some chickens.
Okay. Ricky, any last thoughts?
I think I'm going to McAllister's.
All right. Jacob, any last
that
thoughts?
Sound good too.
I'm ready to probably have a heart attack, stroke, and anything else that's life-threatening this weekend with the playoffs.
Oh, goodness.
So, if I don't hear from y'all, just expect the worst as I normally do.
I am gonna.
Yes, absolutely. Expect a in memoriam on the next ATFS.
See, and what is sad is during the Ohio State Georgia game, I'm actually going to be watching the Grizzlies and the New Orleans Pelicans play. And I'm
Nah, you don't need to go do that. You don't need.
But
That's
but I have to. My daughter's been wanting to go see an NBA game.
It's a
I
good
gotta
thing
go.
you got a phone,
Yeah.
That is very true. That is.
You
very
might not
true.
have any service, but you'll have a
with
phone.
with AT&T. I actually do in that place.
Huh,
I've tested it.
They got some good Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I've tested it. Yep, and it's still connected to the Wi-Fi. As a matter of fact, like I just go in there, it remembers the Wi-Fi from last time I was in there.
Maybe you should have got the suite, man.
Nah, man.
Sweet
I'm
is
good.
nice. It's at them stadiums, them arenas.
That is true. That is true. I'm still probably gonna get free food anyway. So
Charlotte and Orlando is the one that I got to go to in Charlotte.
That's
very,
pretty
very,
awesome.
very, very nice.
That's
suite.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, I had a hotel downtown, walking distance from the arena. We just walked down there. Me and all my coworkers and bosses and stuff. It was sweet. So cool. Such a cool experience.
So if Alex will allow me here, I'm going to self-promote some. So I've been streaming a lot more often this last month. Midnight tonight, which technically is Wednesday, I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to do a 24-hour stream. I'm going to do one for charity because my stream's kind of been growing.
Shout
out to that, man.
I'm going to connect it to probably the Heart Hospital here.
Hey, I'm gonna need
I think
that
it's St.
later.
Bernard's or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna connect it with them. All donations, subs, bits, or whatever it goes to is gonna go to them. So
Shout out. I'll stop by, say hello. You know, always gotta love some good charity stuff. We actually have some charity stuff in the works, but you'll find out more about that in a upcoming video. That's all I will say. So very exciting stuff to come across the board in terms of charity. But yeah, Shane's been really busy recently doing some streaming. He's been sticking to it, running the grind. His stuff is always down in the description below, so you make sure to hit it up, show him some support, show him some love.
176 hours in the last 25 days, 26 days.
Like I said, here at SparkE3, you cannot deny any sort of grind that we do. Like, I'm just going to be up front. He's doing his streaming. I'm doing 3 weekly shows. He's got another podcast that he's doing as well. You know, all of us, you know, Jakub's looking to get back into streaming as well. All of us in some capacity, you know, here we're grinding. We're grinding. You can never doubt the grind at SparkE3. That's just a fact. So the music's about to end, so we're going to have to give it a minute and let it start back up, and then we can really get out of here in proper fashion. But what's for, you know, so we are all kind of went through what's for dinner or not. That's cool. We already kind of did that. That used to be our normal outro, but
They already ate.
yeah.
It's late. I'm usually in bed by now.
That's fair. That's fair. You know, Tyler's got to drive home. He's got to drive home. But now we can actually get to the end. All right, so hand on the button. We're good. All right, so boys, we're gonna do the outro. Jakub, you just
Do the best you can.
do what we got to do. Someone else lead it. Someone else lead it. Feel free.
Okay, I got you.
All right.
From all of us here at ATFS, thank you for watching and listening to
Terrible football show.